fixture of the campaign. It's live here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland as Ross County and Partick Thistle go head-to-head. Commentary from Michael Stewart and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, the end off to our left, the academy end of Victoria Park, is resplendent in red and yellow. The Partick Thistle fans, there'll be around 2,000 of them. I understand there's going to be about 3,000 Ross County fans in attendance today. The pitch bathed in sunshine here as we approach kick-off for the final domestic match of season 22-23. And Ross County will be hoping to channel their inner Hamilton academical. Accies came from 2-0 down to Hibs in the first of these playoff finals when they were reintroduced back in 2013-14. Accies went to Easter Road. It was an even more difficult task for them. Hibs were striking in their nervousness that afternoon. Can County overturn the 2-0 deficit? Now, as you may have heard earlier on the programme, the sad news, a Ross County legend, Roddy McKenzie's lost his life. Club ambassador, he was the kit man, he had so many roles here. Such a wonderful man and a really welcoming presence when you ever came to visit Victoria Park, and a minute's applause being held for him today. Still very raw here at Ross County, but a poignant tribute there to Roddy McKenzie, who has passed away at the age of 80. So just about ready to go here then. Partick Thistle, will they be left to rue not scoring more than the 2 that they managed against the 10 men on Thursday evening in northwest Glasgow? Ross County made some really important blocks along the way in that second half as referee Nick Walsh prepares to get the second leg of this Premiership playoff final underway. Thistle will kick off. They're going to shoot from left to right in their red and yellow. County all in navy blue with red flashes. And the ball's played up to that left-hand side, nodded into the central area where Jack Baldwin gets his head onto it, nodding it forward to Jordan White, still sporting that bandage from the head knock sustained at Kilmarnock a week ago. They've certainly put the miles in over the last 7 days of the Ross County players. White wins another header and collected here by David Chanchola in the midfield. Out to Randall on the far side. It's a long, deep ball in, looking for White. But it's a good, comfortable take in the end for Mitchell, but he loses it the second attempt. And then eventually Thistle have to scamper it out for a throw-in on this near side, level with the Thistle 6-yard line. I didn't see the danger there.
Well, that's exactly what Dillon would not have been wanting. Just a little moment of nervousness that can be the start of a little bit of momentum, you know, and County have now got the opportunity with Jack Baldwin to put a long throw in right into the heart of the box.
Round to the 6-yard line it comes as a little flick header towards the back post, nodded clear, only as far as Chanchola, who knocks it back to Laturi. First time back to Chanchola on the right-hand side of the Thistle box. What a good start by the Staggies. In it comes, and it's a good defensive header away. It breaks to Keith Watson, who volleys for goal. Blocked on the 6-yard line. Laturi trying to win it back at the edge of the Thistle box. And then over on the far side, Kevin Holt gets to it and clears with the left foot, now for a County throw-in. What a good start by the home team, and they had to start well.
Yeah, absolutely, but they've been helped in no short measure by the goalkeeper, David Mitchell, there. I mean, it wasn't a difficult ball. He should have been able to hold it, and it's just allowed this pressure to build here at the defensive end for Partick Thistle.
Thistle get a bit of respite here. It drops to the skipper, Brian Graham. 2 spells he had here at Ross County. It's out to the left, and here they come, and it's Fitzpatrick. Long, deep ball towards the back post, which is flicked away. by Purrington, who's making his first start for County since October. It's now with Tiffany, right-hand side of the box, and he wins the first corner for the Jags. It bounces off Purrington, and it's going to be a corner on this near side for the visitors, who are looking for that goal that would potentially, you would think, put this tie beyond the reach of County. And it's going to be a chance here for Turner to take an out-swinging corner with the right foot as they attack the jail end left to right in this first half. Really deep delivery by Turner, loops towards the back end of the box, and Nick Walsh's whistle signals a free kick for County for a foul on Baldwin.
And that attack before is exactly what Ross County have got to be mindful of. They've got to go and attack, they've got to be forceful in their game, but they've also got to be mindful of this Partick Thistle side, because they break so well. They've got some real ability middle to front. You know, that time it was down the left-hand side with Fitzpatrick just trying to clip one to the back post. Eventually Tiffany picks up and he goes and attacks Purrington on the left-hand side for Ross County. They have that threat. They've got real energy and guile and quality. You add Lawless into there as well. Not somebody that is as athletic, but he's got a wonderful eye for a pass and really nice touch in the middle of the park. You know, you can see the captain there spinning out to this right-hand side, Ross Docherty, a good football player. Yeah. Turner alongside him likewise.
And Jack McMillan has had a wonderful playoff campaign. He's had a good season, of course, but particularly in the playoffs, he's come to the fore as it's worked out to Lawless. He crosses in, headed half away, and then Keith Watson, the club captain of County, smashes it up the pitch towards halfway with the clearance. Thistle come again, they're getting into their stride. Here's Lawless, skips away from Purrington, trying to slip it into the penalty area, and then County put it out for the throw-in on this near side. Jack McMillan, again, always a threat, whether he's rampaging down on the outside or cutting in field, and finds himself in some really good areas in attacking positions. He's going to take the throw-in on this near side. 4 goalless minutes in here towards Lawless. The throw-in goes, and Purrington puts it out for another shy on this near side, down by the corner flag. McMillan over it. Turner comes short. First time back to McMillan, who's in an offside position right in front of the assistant David McGeehee on this near side. It is County 0, Thistle 0, 2-0 to the visitors on the aggregate. It's certainly an excellent atmosphere inside the stadium.
Well, Partick Thistle have just reacted well after that initial bit of pressure from Ross County. They've retained possession, they've moved the game territorial into Ross County's half, and they'll just allow themselves to calm down and feel that they're working their way into the game here.
This will have it over on the far side. Graham trying to dink it forward from the left-hand side of the centre circle. County win it back with Chanchola, who finds Keith Watson. Just inside the Thistle half, he turns back, facing his own goal. And rolls it to Randall, who made 2 monumental blocks in that first leg on Thursday night that could well prove to be crucial come the close of business here in Dingwall today. It's Chanchola right at the centre circle, finds Nohan Kenna on loan from Hibs. And it's rolled back the way to Baldwin. It was 4 changes all told by Malky Mackay. Dylan Smith and Awura Edwards are both suspended. And amongst all that, as Baldwin picks up, slips it up towards halfway, Chanchola back to Watson, who switches it right to left of the centre circle for Kenna, and out to Purrington on this near side. First time ball back to Kenna.
Well, they've kept the ball quite well here, Ross County, but they need to start looking forward now.
Yeah, here's Jan Danda, who can do just that. The County number 10, he could be so important for them today. Holt gets onto his pass though for Thistle, looking to clear, and he deceives Connor Randall instead of smashing it up the pitch. It's just a little ball forward to Fitzpatrick, and then into the midfield it goes, but County win it back, and it's Danda back to Watson. 6 minutes in, no goals in the second leg. Out to the right hand side for Victor Laturi, down the line for Samuel. Samuel looking to squeeze it past Holt, eventually breaks Fitzpatrick's way. It's a little bit scrappy over there on the far side, but Thistle emerge with it. Kyle Turner back out to the left for Holt, and then up the line it goes, and one back by Watson for Samuel. Thistle felt that should have been a free kick for them. It's Laturi instead for County. Now Danda at the edge of the box. His attempted ball into the penalty area is cut out, and eventually Thistle scramble it away. Picked up by Chanchola right of the centre circle. Finds Nohan Kenna, who plays it back the way to the left of the circle for Baldwin in the Thistle half. Square ball infield to Jordan White, comes deep to get onto it. Looking to dink it forward there for Laturi. Holt's clearance. Out to the far side, he finds Fitzpatrick, goes back to his keeper, and Mitchell smashes it forward into the centre circle, where the sliding Juan Kenna puts it off Lawless and out for a County throw on this near side. 0-0, still in the very early stages of this second leg though. The fight for the final place in next season's Premiership. Thistle sitting in the box seat though right now. There's Watson just rolling it back to Laturi, angled right foot ball into the box. White tries to glance it for goal, he can only glance it well wide of the left hand post, and it stays County 0, Thistle 0.
Well, it's been a good start from the home side, no doubt about that. Malky Mackay will be feeling quite positive about the way that the game has opened up. But you know, for Partick Thistle, they've shown enough in the last few weeks, and they've also just shown enough in this opening stages as well, that they know that they can go and hurt the opposition here. The big thing is, and it's infuriating for managers because there's not a great deal they can do about it, the big thing is they have to be aware that don't gift anything to the opposition for either side, because if Partick Thistle gift something to Ross County, it could just be what is needed to ignite the comeback.
Yeah, a literal game changer. Here's Alex Samuel at the edge of the Thistle box, looking to barge his way through, 3 Thistle defenders around them. Eventually it's cleared by Turner, out for a throw into County on this near side. Of course, as it stands, Thistle making a mockery of those of the opinion that the playoff system is heavily weighted in the 11th place Premiership side's favour. The one thing you would say is that the gap between 2nd and 4th in the Championship this season was as small as it's ever been, certainly since the playoffs were reintroduced in 2014. I think the gap generally was sort of between 12 and 14 points. So there's not much between 2nd place Ayr and 4th place Partick Thistle this season in the league points terms, and Chris Doolan obviously has had Thistle as one of the form dogs, one of the form horses in the Championship in the final quarter of the campaign, just as Billy Dodds had Inverness in that bracket. So that goes out for a throw-in on this near side to Partick Thistle. But even though the gap between 2nd and 4th is as small as it's ever been, take nothing away from the style of football that Partick Thistle are playing. Quite clearly they've been the strongest of those 3 underneath Dundee that made the playoffs.
I mean, look, there's no doubt the playoffs are weighted in favour of the Premiership side, but that is the way the system is. But the thing with Partick Thistle is here, and you just look at it with 5 games in a row, the same side. You look at the difference to Inverness last season when it was sending offs, injuries, the small squad, they weren't able to maintain the momentum they were building in those playoffs, and it really did feel going into the final like they were running on empty. It's the complete polar opposite with Partick Thistle here. They've got a run of form, they've got the same side, the confidence is there. So it's flipped on its head. It doesn't matter the fact that they've had to play the full 6 games of the playoff. They have built the form going into it, and they've not carried any suspensions or injuries doing it as well.
Laturi for County. A little stoppage in play for an injury to Chanchola there, but he's back up as Kenna plays it back to Chanchola. He likes to sweep it all the way back to Ross Laidlaw, who's beaten twice on Thursday, made a couple of really important saves himself, the big County keeper. We have played just over 10 minutes, 0-0. Back with Laidlaw, dumps it forward with the right foot into the Thistle half. White trying to hold off the defender, who was Brownlee. He does well, knocks it back the way. It's now with Watson, wide in the right, moving forward, level with the 18-yard line. In comes the cross, and it's met by Aaron Muirhead, who heads clear. It's now with Chanchola, who gets it from Danda. Chanchola out to the right from Watson, down by the corner flag. His cross takes a deflection behind for a Ross County corner, their first of the piece. 0-0 in the second leg.
That's quite a few occasions already where Keith Watson, who's the right side of the centre half, has been far forward, putting balls into the box. Jack Baldwin's been playing 1v1 at the top end of the park. He's got a little bit of cover. A couple of midfielders are sitting in front, but they're not right on top. So he's still been playing 1v1 at the back. So it's been pretty adventurous. They've got the full-backs right up, Randall and Purrington. As I said there, Keith Watson's been getting forward and putting balls into the box, and they're just looking for that little bit of cover from the midfielders. But it's not like they're sitting 2 yards in front of Brian Graham. It's been almost like a 10-15 yard gap.
Slight delay in taking the corner because the Thistle fans held on to the ball. A new one came on. and Danda takes out swinging right-footed corner, just flicks off the head of Baldwin, but there's a push by the Ross County player. It was Keith Watson in the end who got the flick onto it rather than Baldwin, and he's used the defender to try and gain an advantage. Free kick then it is to Thistle. 2-0 on the aggregate scoreline. It remains to Partick Thistle. There will be a free kick here for the visitors for that challenge inside the penalty area. Malky Mackay and Chris Doolan at the edge of their technical area. Doolan with the hands in his pockets, and Malky Mackay to his right. The two of them separated by Don Robertson, the fourth official. And it will be David Mitchell to launch this one forward, the Thistle goalkeeper. Forward it comes off the head of Baldwin, drops into the centre circle, little cushion header by Holt forward, but it drops to Danda, clips it forward. Facing his own goal is Brownlee, but he just hooks it away with the left foot out for a Ross County throw, and there's no doubt that the home side, the Premiership team, have started the brighter of the two. A clip ball forward by Watson, onto the chest of White, holds on level with the Thistle penalty spot. Back out onto the touchline for Danda. Takes his time, it's the cross in, Samuel attacks it, and it ricochets off a couple of players, off Jordan White last, and behind for a Thistle goal kick. And it will stay 0-0 here in Dingwall, with Thistle leading 2-0 in aggregate, 13.5 on the clock.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed that it comes to nothing there, but it's just another attack that you can see they're being able to build patterns of play, especially down the right-hand side. There's been a number of balls that have come into the box. Thistle able to defend it, but it ricochets off of Jordan White and goes behind for the bye kick. But certainly Ross County will be confident after the opening stages here that they'll feel that there is a way back into this game for them.
County in a run of just 3 wins in their last 11 matches, whereas Thistle, as we know, unbeaten in 11, just 1 defeat in 18 for Chris Doolan since taking over. Unbeaten in 11. The club record unbeaten run for Partick Thistle is 16. It shows you how well they've been doing recently. It's Brian Graham trying to dig it out up the line. It goes, eventually goes out for a throw-in, which is bowled back to Ross Laidlaw. Brian Graham, incidentally, today wearing a black armband, that also in tribute to Roddy McKenzie, who we were talking about the minute's applause beforehand. Brian Graham played here over 2 spells and knew him well. So it comes all the way back through to David Mitchell again. So no breakthrough in the early exchanges of this, and you would imagine Chris Doolan will be delighted that Ross County haven't profited from the fact that they've been making the brighter start today. So the long ball forward is headed clear on his 18-yard line by Baldwin. Holt's pass is cut out by Randall, and then out it goes for a throw into County off a Thistle man over on the far side in front of the east stand here at Victoria Park, as Maturi leaves it for Watson to take, but level with the edge of the centre circle inside his own half on the County right. Taken short to Chanchola, back to Watson. Boots it back off Docherty, and out for a throw-in to County again on the far side. If County are to find this goal, Michael, how are they going to manage to breach that Partick Thistle defence? Through the middle, out wide?
I was just going to say, look, without stating the obvious, Jordan White is a huge threat. They need to be getting delivery into the box. Now, whether it's him scoring directly from a cross that's coming in, or whether it's a second ball, I think that is the route into it. The likes of Danda's got wonderful delivery, but they need to be getting him into areas where he can get the ball into the box. Tried to hit Jordan White and play off of him, whether it's in the box or outside. That can certainly get them up the park. But then when those crosses are going in, Jordan White is going to attack it, but they need to be getting bodies in there. It's simple, straightforward football, but that is the best route for Ross County to be getting back into it. I don't see it in terms of, trying to find little pockets of space and slide rule passes. It's getting those wide areas, Purrington down the left-hand side, Randall, Danda, getting the ball into them and getting the ball into the box.
Samuel goes down, no free kick. It was a chip ball forward towards him. He was caught by the defender. I think it was Muirhead who wiped him out, and that's going to be a throw-in, I think, only when did the ball go out for a throw for Thistle on this near side. He hasn't given the free kick. He certainly didn't initially.
No, I think I don't think the ball went out either. I think he stopped
it. Yeah.
Stopped it because he was talking. It was a head knock.
He's just getting back to his feet now, rubbing the back of his head. Alex Samuel. A touch of the Jason Cummings about him, actually. Alex Samuel, and Jason Cummings was, of course, the man whose penalty was saved by Kevin Cuthbert in that shootout back in 2014 as Hamilton sent Hibs down. They'd opened the scoring by this point, the Ackies, in that second leg in Edinburgh. And Jason Scotland scored. Tony Ondrew scored very late in injury time to take it to extra time, and eventually Ackies under Alec Neil plunged Hibs down to the Championship. Of course, Hibs and Hearts both went down that season. Purrington collects on this near side, midway inside his own half. Infield to Laturi. Back to Baldwin, who slices his clearance onto the roof of the main stand. And that will be a throw in to Partick Thistle on this near side. A bit more culture than that if they are to clamber their way back into this tie. Kyle Turner's long ball is going to come all the way through to Ross Laidlaw, who's been pretty untroubled so far in this second leg, which remains County 0, Thistle 0. Laidlaw will take the goal kick. Right-footed coming up here. And it's going to take it short with his left to Watson, to the edge of the box, out to the right-hand side for Randall. Infield he finds Laturi, frees himself of his man and moves up towards halfway. Out to that right-hand side for Chanchola. Kenna's simple option near the centre circle. He pops it forward though instead to Laturi. Just had that nicked away from him by the ever-impressive Ross Docherty, the Thistle skipper, who clears into the county half. Collected by Baldwin, out to Purrington, back to Baldwin. Low ball along the grass, forward into Thistle territory for Kenna, who finds Chanchola. And then to Baldwin, short to Danda. And now Chanchola. It's good possession football by Ross County, though they're not really making inroads as far as getting towards the final third is concerned. Here's a long one from Randall, looking for Samuel, headed away by Muirhead. Kenna turns it to Laturi. It's a poor pass, gives it straight to Lawless. There's a brief appeal for a handball against Stevie Lawless as it bounced up towards that area. County trying to win it back in the midfield, and actually, frustratingly for them, Johan Kenna gives away the free kick for a foul on Docherty, and that will be a free kick to Thistle, a bit level with the edge of the centre circle inside their own half. We've played almost 20 minutes. County 0, Thistle 0. And Chris Doolan undoubtedly will be the happier manager with the way things are going.
Well, he'll be happier in terms of it's still 0-0, but Ross County are the team that are performing better at the moment. Having said all that, the midfield three of Kenna, Laturi and Cancola have got to do better in possession for me. You know, they've kept it, they're ticking over, but they need to be looking forward, getting the ball forward as much as possible.
It's a long free kick comes in. That's a really good header won by Brownlee, and County get it away. It's Baldwin who's met it inside the 6-yard box, and that's gone behind for a Partick Thistle corner down on this near side, I think. And really good header back by Brownlee as he met the free kick, which was taken from deep into the county box. And it will be a Thistle opportunity from the corner out in this near side to be taken by Stevie Lawless, back in his second spell at the club. Left-footed, he takes it low into the box, and it's played back towards him, but it was a little bit loose from Tiffany. It goes out of play for a throw into Thistle again off the defender. And this is about level with the county penalty spot on this near side. Lawless thought about taking it quickly. I think in the end, is he going to leave it for McMillan? And he does take it himself, and he gives it to McMillan now to the feet of the right back. Infield to Tiffany, who plays it straight into touch for a county throw-in on this near side. Thistle actually were by far the better team, even when it was 11 against 11 for all 17 minutes that it was on Thursday evening. They've not hit those levels right now, but you would expect that County would have had plenty of the ball in the early exchanges as they try and turn this tie their way. 21.5 on the clock. It's still 0-0 though. Thistle repelling County. And as Chris Doolan was saying, as Jack Baldwin and Brian Graham threatened to come to blows, Keith Watson comes to diffuse the situation before it caught fire, and the ref has seen enough just to give Brian Graham a little warning.
All for the cameras. All for the cameras, Liam.
It's been some season when it comes to officiating, hasn't it? I mean, who'd be a referee? But who'd be a pundit? Because since the introduction of the video assistant, it's been every single week is dominated. I think there's maybe been one or two there's been a respite, but Nick Wall's just holding things up momentarily. The VAR today's Greg Aitken. Of course, the VAR intervened during the first leg. Dylan Smith was initially only shown the yellow card. It's upgraded to red as Thistle get a free kick just left of the centre circle, and it's Jack Baldwin who was involved this time. So he clattered into
honestly.
Brian Graham again. It's the two of them again at it.
Oh yeah, let's have another wee word for the cameras. I mean, it's a nothing challenge. There's absolutely no need for the referee to be having a word with Jack Baldwin. None whatsoever.
It's a stern lecture from Nick Walsh.
Maybe he'll hold up this free kick until he's on the exact perfect blade of grass as well, like the last by kick.
You always know the referees who are teachers, the mannerisms, as Thistle prepared to take this free kick just to the left of the centre circle. In the county half, looking for one of the big men again. Into the box it comes, high ball headed away. McKenna, it's returned immediately into the area by Docherty. It was eventually County win the throw-in over on the far side. Fitzpatrick couldn't get there for the Jags. We're in the second quarter of the second leg of the Premiership playoff final. 0-0 still. Partick Thistle's 2-0 lead stands. As Chris Doolan was saying, simple, keep a clean sheet, they will be a Premiership club. 5 years since their relegation. In the playoff final, the hands of Livingston. They've done a pretty good job of staying in the top flight ever since. Throw in meantime to County over on that far side, about level with the edge of the D of the Thistle box. 24 on the clock. It's Bold to Yandanda, right hand side of the area, looking to get to the byline, and it's shepherded behind for the goal kick, right in front of the Partick Thistle supporters. It's Fitzpatrick who did a good defensive job there, and that will be a goal kick to Partick Thistle.
He did very well because he was playing catch up. Danda had got the run on him, but Aidan Fitzpatrick got back in, his body in the way, and ushered it behind for the bye kick, and just averted any danger that was going to potentially come.
They weren't terrific goal scorers in the Premiership this season, Ross County. 37 goals in the league. I think Partick Thistle are pretty close to that tally over the last 11 matches that they've been unbeaten. As Randall wins the header on the far side in his own half, up to the line towards Danda, wins the throw-in. Takes a quick throw himself, looking for Samuel against the break-in behind the defender. Alex Samuel down the right-hand side, White galloping into the box, trying to get there. The cross is cut out though. Important block as Muirhead challenges Samuel, right-hand side of the box, out to Chanchola. Lifted up high into the air, the goalkeeper's not there, and it's off the line. Really important clearance off the line, that was goal-bound. And Partick Thistle survive as they look to try and launch a counter here. It's Kyle Turner who was right on the line to spare the blushes of David Mitchell, who got himself caught in no man's land, and it stays 0-0. It looked like County were having the arrears on the aggregate scoreline.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Mitchell was in no man's land. I've got no idea what he was doing, because it was a terrible ball in from Cancola. Had so much height on it that the keeper had an eternity to just track it, come and take it, and he was nowhere near it. And there's two occasions where the ball's coming at the box and he's been found wanting, and that just reaffirms what I was saying before in terms of for County to get their way back into it. They need to play to their strengths, and that is crosses into the box. But it's also just been shown as, on the two big occasions, a rather large weakness from Partick Thistle, and David Mitchell in particular.
Yeah, he's had two mistakes. He hasn't been punished for either of them. He'll be delighted with that, because the first one, both of them look pretty harmless. Balls into his penalty area. Expect any goalkeeper worth their salt to deal with pretty easily. Anyway, here's Jan Danda rolling it with the undersole over the halfway line, switching it out to Purrington on this near side. Danda's looking to get involved constantly, isn't he? He looks County's most likely from the midfield anyways. Purrington finds Nohan Kenny on the left of the Partick Thistle box. His cross is blocked by Muirhead, and behind for a Ross County corner to try and take advantage of their superiority in the first half of this second leg. 27 played, 0-0, County corner.
Well, they worked that well. You know, they worked it side to side. They came down the left eventually. Purrington sliding it into Noah Kenna's path. It's getting to that stage with a good start to the game. If Ross County were able to get the goal, then it really does set the rest of the game up brilliantly.
Danda's corner this time. Mitchell punches away with both hands.
He did well there.
Yeah.
Credit to him.
Watson trying to keep it alive for the Staggies. Does so. Rolls it along the deck out to Danda on the near side. Watson still available as an option to help him out, and Danda finds him, and Danda plays it off Docherty. He's looking for a free kick for handball. Nick Walsh doesn't agree, and Chanchola's challenge, and Docherty puts it out for a throw-in on this near side to Partick Thistle. 28 played, 0-0 in Dingwall.
Well, I mean, it hit Ross Docherty's hand, but the referee would not have been able to see it. The linesman, though, he's looking straight down the line. Perhaps he would have been able to see it. He's obviously thought that it didn't merit the free kick being given.
You're listening to Sports Sound this Sunday afternoon, the final domestic football of the season. BBC Radio Scotland on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The second leg of the SPFL Premiership playoff final. Partick Thistle still leading on aggregate by 2-0 thanks to that win in the first leg in Glasgow on Thursday. And the bouncing ball on this near side goes out for a County throw-in. Purrington over it, and told to come back a few yards back into his own half, right down in front of us between the two managers on the halfway line. And he's going to leave it for Jack Baldwin to take. Baldwin bowls it down the line looking for White. He does get the flick onto it. Samuel twisting away from Muirhead. McMillan sticking with him. Samuel with the back heel. Purrington goes after it. He's going to get there as well. Down by the byline. Purrington wins the corner. County have been the better team in this first half, as they look for some kind of route back into this tie, because as it stands, they will be relegated this afternoon. It's good play by Alex Samuel down here, and from Purrington. Hasn't had many starts of late, not much action. Danda prepares to take in swinging corner, and it comes as a good delivery, and well, Watson did win the header at the left angle of the 6-yard box, but he puts it over the crossbar, and it stays County 0, Thistle 0.
Well, it was not a bad ball from Danda, and it was well attacked from Keith Watson. He just wanted to try to get a glance on it. Instead, he got a lot on it. Good contact, but just not able to direct it on target. As I said, if he'd just got a bit more of a glance on it, it would have been easier to perhaps get it downward and on target. In the end, it's gone over the crossbar. No trouble for the goalkeeper, Mitchell.
Yeah, one of the most impressive things about Thistle under Chris Doolan's been the number of goals they've scored, but they've kept plenty clean sheets as well. 12 clean sheets in Doolan's 18 matches in charge. 17 all season. Oh, the vast majority of them have come in recent times as Thistle come charging down the left-hand side. They've managed to win themselves a corner as well, so this is an opportunity for Thistle to score what would be an oh so crucial third goal in the tie. So they've got a big opportunity here. 31 minutes, they were well into double figures for corners the other night. They played 31. A chance to keep the pressure on this County defence. Whipped into the 6-yard line where it comes off Baldwin's head. I thought no, it came off a Thistle head last. Baldwin leapt up, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Ross County, which Laidlaw's already getting set to take. It was just a quick flash into life for Partick Thistle down that left flank, Mikey.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're dangerous. Ross County are not going to be under any illusions, even though they've started brightly, that they're playing against a side who in a flash can go and hurt them and put the game to bed, really. And that is the precipice that they're trying to perform in this game.
I have to say, for his first start in a while, I think Ben Purrington's looked really good. He was the man whose header was nodded off the line by Kyle Turner. And both teams have had nervy moments at the back over the almost game and a half that's been played in this tie. Muirhead puts it out for a throw into County on the near side. Malky Mackay's looking very animated down there, Mike. He's under a heck of a lot of pressure today. And everything's so very tight here at Victoria Park. The board and the supporters all right behind him. And it's forward from Holt, picked up by Graham. He's got Tiffany as an option, elects to take it forward himself. Eventually releases Tiffany. Right hand side of the box, across the face of goal, and so very nearly found that back post area. Almost found that far corner, and it was behind for the goal kick, and County get away with one there. It stays County 0, Thistle 0, but as Michael was saying, that again is Partick Thistle's ability to just click into gear, and it was Brian Graham. I thought he would release Tiffany perhaps a little bit sooner than he did, but it almost paid off.
Yeah, he did very well, to be honest, because he probably wasn't set to put it through first time. Just showed good composure, set himself, and then weighted it through for Tiffany perfectly. And yep, that is a perfect example and warning to Ross County that Partick Thistle can just click into gear and cause them real problems. They cut them open there with a great deal of ease.
Here come Thistle again. Buoyed by that chance a moment ago. Here's Brian Graham on the turn, left-hand side of the box, looking to work it to Docherty. Goes down. Thistle complain for a penalty. Some arms outstretched there, but Nick Walsh doesn't agree with the protest. We wait and see if that will be viewed as an official review shortly. It's now with Turner. About level the edge of the D of the County box in the inside channel, rolling it out wide for Tiffany. Tiffany turns it for Lawless, a misunderstanding, and he goes out for a throw-in. But Ross Docherty's got his arms outstretched, appealing to Nick Walsh, and he is going to halt play. Well, certainly looked like a dodgy challenge.
Well, there's no doubt that it'll be getting looked at. For me, you know, just watching it in real time, I thought it was a fair enough decision from the referee just to let the game play on and not to give the penalty. But nothing would surprise me. I would not be in the least bit surprised if he was called over to have a look at this.
Well, I was going to say, our reporter Brian said he had a monitor. I'm not sure Brian's beside the monitor, but apparently not. So VAR check is well underway just now. The VAR's Greg Aitken, who as VAR gave a controversial decision here earlier this season when he sent off Graham Shinney, or at least advised it. And Nick Walsh is coming over to have a look at this. Simon Donnelly's had a chance to look at it.
Yeah, listen, I exclaimed "ooh" as it was happening. You know, it was one of those ones, and then I followed that up. We said all the best VAR. He kind of comes in here, and yeah, he's just.
Malky Mackay shouting it's a dive. That's what your old teammates say.
It's not a dive. He's kind of kicked his foot in there. He's tried to get his foot in front, and the Ross County players, as I say, all the best with VAR trying to work that one out.
Malky Mackay making his feelings clear. Thanks, Simon. We'll see what decision Nick Walsh comes to. He's down looking at replays of this. This is a massive moment. This is a huge, monumental moment in this tie.
It'll be given. You know, he's been called over, I'll guarantee you he gives it. But for me, I think when you see those sorts of things where players are trying to get in front of each other, I just think that you let the game play, personally. I've not seen the replay, but my gut is that it'll be given, but I'm not convinced.
It's obviously not cut and dry because he's still watching it.
Yep. Which to me tells you shouldn't be giving it. The referee let the game play on. This has been dragged on for a fair bit and he's still watching it. This is a monumental decision, like the red card last week. I think it would be harsh if it was given, is my gut, without actually seeing the replay.
Malky Mackay takes a swig from his water bottle. He's still protesting. Nick Walsh has made his mind up. Here he goes. Big moment coming in here. Game on. Came on, no penalty.
Well, there you go.
Well, Ross County survive. What a nervy moment that was for the County supporters, because if Thistle had awarded the penalty and score, there's surely no way back for them. It would be certain relegation. But no penalty. Nick Walsh sticks with his original decision.
Well, credit to him. I said I'd guarantee you the penalty was going to be given, although I felt like it shouldn't. So, on first viewing, Nick Walsh decided it wasn't a penalty. He's watched the replay, he's stuck with it. Credit to him, because I think he's made the right call.
I think it was ages ago now. It was Kenna and Docherty, wasn't it, inside the box anyway.
I couldn't actually tell you who the Ross County player was, but it was definitely Ross Docherty that went in from Partick Thistle.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Greg Aitken told Nick Walsh to come over. It was Noan Kenny, yeah, I was right, who advised him to come over and look at it. And I mean, he must have spent a good 2 minutes there viewing the footage, and eventually he's happy with the decision he made. So here's Muirhead going back the way. You're right though, Michael, normally when the ref comes over to look at it, he's normally overruling his own decision. So Nick Walsh sticking by what he thought it was in the first place, as Danda collects in the midfield for County. Out to Purrington, first time with a left foot back into his own half for Baldwin. I mean, regardless of whether it's the correct decision or not, it's a let-off for Ross County.
Huge, massive, because that would have been a right bubble burster, that one. All the momentum they've built up in the first half, although it's still 0-0, it would have just evaporated in a split second had the penalty been given and the ball ends up in the back of the net.
Thistle still with the 2-0 lead on aggregate, 38.5 on the clock. Here come County, given away by White. And straight to McMillan, who plays it forward to Graham, who's fouled by Baldwin again. It's those two doing the dance. And Nick Walsh gives the free kick to the Jags.
That's good play from Brian Graham, really good play. Takes it in with his first touch, and then second quickly just shifting it off to the side. Definite free kick.
Will be a free kick for Thistle. The goalkeeper will take it himself a long way from his box. David Mitchell, joined from Hibs last summer. A year at Easter Road, didn't play at all. And he's going to take this free kick just about level with the edge of the centre circle in his own half, long with the right, all the way into the County box. It's headed away by Baldwin. It's Patrick taking it down on the far side, the man who scored the opening goal at Firhill the other night. Chanchola wins it back well, and then Randall's firing it forward to White. Jordan White on the turn, rolls it infield to Laturi. Low ball out to the left for Purrington. Up the line to Nohan Kenna. And then out of play it goes for County, and it will be a throw-in off Stevie Lawless. Malky McKiley breathing a sigh of relief after all that, all the drama, the heart in the mouth when the challenge was made inside the box, and then the subsequent 3 minutes or so it was spent deliberating over it. Alex Samuel on this near side, losing out now with Lawless midway inside his own half. Infield to turn, and they've played themselves out beautifully there, Partick Thistle. Here goes Kevin Holt, galloping down that left-hand side into the County half. Checks his run, passing it forward. Here's Fitzpatrick. And the right foot low ball out to the left-hand side for Holt. Infield to the left angle of the box, and Thistle lose out, and then there's a foul there over on that far side. It'll be a free kick to Ross County. Keith Watson was upended as we get a little bit closer to half-time. It was Fitzpatrick's foul. We played almost 41 here in the sunshine in Dingwall. It's now with Randall to Danda, fires it forward first time. Cushion headed away by Holt and picked up by Docherty over on the far side. Have County done enough for you in this first half?
No, I mean, look, they've certainly been in the ascendancy, but as the game is starting to wear on, you get the feeling like Partick Thistle can go and punish them. They've been a little bit powder puff, Ross County, as well.
There's Lawless coming forward, and one another.
No chance.
Penalty appeal there for handball this time. As the ball came in from the right, it was a low one. It did strike the defender.
No chance for a couple of reasons. It deflects off of another party's body, first of all, and also his arm was down balancing him out as he slid in.
Supporting arm, yeah. Well, Nick Walsh certainly halted things momentarily there. And there will be a throw-in for McMillan to take level with the county penalty spot on the near side. Gets it back immediately from Turner. Looking to free himself of Purrington. Comes off the county defender and out for another Thistle throw. And creep towards the break. Still, the 2-goal deficit's not insurmountable for Ross County. 3 surely would be. It's bowled into the box for Brian Graham. He goes down to the edge of the area. It breaks Tiffany's way though. Tiffany, right-hand side, low ball across. There's an opportunity here for Thistle. It's in! The away end erupts, and Aidan Fitzpatrick might just have sent Partick Thistle into the Premiership. The Ross County players are stunned as the Thistle players celebrate down by the corner flag on the far side. And up the other end of Victoria Park, it is a sea of yellow and red, because Glasgow's yellow and red look top flight bound. Partick Thistle 1, Ross County 0, and 3-0 on aggregate.
Well, I was just saying it a minute ago, Liam. As this half is wearing on, you feel like Partick Thistle are the ones that are going to be able to open things up. They've got that cutting edge at the top end of the park, and they've showed it there. Aidan Fitzpatrick, as the ball came to him, he didn't lash at it. He took a touch, gained his composure, and then slips into the bottom corner, and Laidlaw's got no chance. But you asked had Ross County done enough. They'd played pretty well, but apart from a couple of moments from the goalkeeper making mistakes, there hadn't really been any moments where you thought they fashioned their chance, they should score. Whereas at the other end, with Partick Thistle, you just know that they've got those players that can create moments. There was one earlier on that got fizzed across the face that came to nothing. On this occasion, Tiffany's in behind, puts it across again. Fitzpatrick's the one that gets on the end of it, and as I said, he doesn't lash at it, shows that composure to get it under control, and then just calmly pass it through the defender's legs and into the bottom corner.
Ross County are in deep, deep trouble. They need 3 unanswered goals just to take this tie to extra time. This'll smell blood here. Lawless through for Tiffany at the edge of the box is taken away from him by Purrington, and it breaks back to Ross Laidlaw. The final minute of the first half of the second leg. What a good time to score for Partick Thistle as well.
Oh, what an incredibly good time to score. You know, Malcolm Mackay was talking before the game about, you know, even if it's the 85th minute when they scored their first goal, then it would make for a good and tasty last 5 minutes. So even though they looked a little bit powder puff, the performance up until that stage in the first half would have given them confidence to be able to reiterate that message at half-time. Now they're 1-0 down. It changes everything completely.
County look doomed. This'll look vibrant. 5 minutes of added time we hear. That's about to be confirmed by Don Robertson's board down below us. Well, he suspected at 2-0 down in aggregate, Ross County needed to score the next goal. They certainly do now. Could be doing with scoring in first half stoppage time here. And to be fair, the only nervy moments for the Partick Thistle fans have been because of David Mitchell mistakes in goal. County haven't really forced the issue themselves. And that is a serious concern for Malky Mackay. He's down there, he's shaking his head, he's chuntering away to himself. This is going horribly, horribly wrong for County.
That should be, I mean, that should be a free or a drop ball for Ross County for me. Jack Baldwin got in and won the ball, and it was ricocheting through one of his teammates, and it came off of Nick Welsh.
That's normally an automatic drop ball, isn't it? Here's Alex Samuel for County. What have they got left? This time last week, they had lost at Kilmarnock. It was an insipid performance, but it was a game that had they won, they wouldn't have to bother with these playoffs. Suddenly, they could be relegated through them as Randall wins a County corner right at the end of the first half. And it's going to be a corner over on the far side. This is the kind of situation they really need to be taking advantage of. Jan Danda over it. Thistle fans have got the beach balls out. The bottom half of that stand behind the goal, resplendent in sunshine. Purrington wins the header from the corner, comes off Holt, and Mitchell clings onto it to prevent another corner. It is County 0, Thistle 1 here. 3-0 to the Jags on aggregate, and they've taken the quick ball down the right-hand side for Tiffany. 2 County players out to meet him. Scott Tiffany down by the right-hand side corner flag, and he's won his team a corner as well. They've been outstanding in these playoffs. They've brushed aside Queen's Park and Ayr United, and they are doing a job, doing a number on Premiership Ross County. We've only got about another hour of top-flight status by the looks of things.
That was a great bit of play from Partick Thistle to get down the other end so quickly. A great ball from Mitchell, and Tiffany, who's a constant threat, winning his side the corner.
Turner takes right-footed out swinging corner, flicked only half away by White and hooked towards goal, blocked by Chanchola, who clears up this near side. Samuel trying to get onto it. We've got about 2 minutes of the injury time left. It's Alex Samuel charging forward up against McMillan, shows too much of it to the Thistle right back, who slides in. Out it goes for a throw-in, level with the Partick Thistle penalty spot. What a day out they're having, the away fans here. What a noise they are making. Always makes the long journey home a bit sweeter if you have won the match, but when you consider what this all means to Partick Thistle 3 years on from their relegation to the 3rd tier. Here comes the throw in into the Thistle penalty area. It's headed away, only half clear. Here's Baldwin collecting for County on this near side, infield to the central area for Chanchola, who rolls it back to Randall in the centre circle, and out to Laturi wide on the left. Back to Randall, takes a touch, looks up, right-footed, angle ball into the box. White gets his head to it, heads towards the 6-yard line. Thistle clearing, trying to keep this clean sheet to at least half-time. As Lawless completes the clearance, Danda gets his head onto it. If County emerge from this tie still in the Premiership, it will have been a miraculous comeback. They are 3 down on aggregate. Here's Samuel on this near side. It's a good ball! Oh. And White can't get anything onto it. And it sails behind the reverse side of the goal for a goal kick when it really should have been 1-1 on the day.
What an opportunity that was for Ross. That's their best chance they've had in this half. Good play from Samuel down the left-hand side. Wasn't particularly great defending from Partick Thistle. They backed off and allowed Samuel to throw that ball in, and his strike partner Jordan White coming in towards the back post area, and he just misses the ball completely. Had he got any real contact on that with his left foot, you're sure that would have been destined for the back of the net. And what a lift that would have been for Ross County going into half-time to get themselves back level. That is a monumental miss by Jordan White. They really needed him to tuck that one away, you feel. Chanchola on the far side getting it under control, but that is half-time in Dingwall. And it's the Thistle supporters who are celebrating their team. Have extended their aggregate lead here. 2-0 win in Glasgow on Thursday, thanks to those goals from Fitzpatrick and Graham. Well, Fitzpatrick's been at it again, scoring on 43 minutes, tucking home from Tiffany's ball in from the right. Took a touch or two before reversing it into the bottom left corner, away from a helpless Laidlaw. That after County had survived that long penalty check with the VAR. And they haven't really tested David Mitchell in goal. He's made a couple of mistakes, and Kyle Turner to head one off the line from Ben Purrington. That's as close as County have come until that White chance in first half stoppage time. That goes in, you give Ross County a chance, you give them hope. But the half-time scoreline here in Dingwall gives them little hope of a recovery. They look doomed to relegation. Thistle look all the way a team that will be promoted. Half-time in Dingwall is Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1 and 3-0 in aggregate.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
Why is it called a smart speaker? Because it's smart. You ask it to do something and it'll be done. Just say, smart speaker, ask BBC Sounds to play your favourite music mix. Oh, that's nice. Or you can say, ask BBC Sounds to play that brand new podcast. Ooh. And you can even ask BBC Sounds to pause, rewind and restart live radio on your smart speaker. If only everything in life is that simple. For music, radio and podcasts, on most smart speakers, just say, smart speaker, ask BBC Sounds.
Ross County were promoted back into the top flight in 2018-19. They have spent 10 of the last 11 seasons in the top flight of Scottish football, but their stay in the Premiership is looking perilous in the extreme. 45 minutes left of this Premiership playoff final, and they trail now Partick Thistle by 3-0. Thistle rampaging through the playoffs. 4-3 against Queen's Park, 4-0 away to Queen's Park, 3-0 and 5-0 against Ayr United, 2-0 against County last Thursday, and now in front once again and looking strong favourites to clinch that place in the Premiership for next season. I think Simon Donnelly, County have been a bit better than we certainly saw them last week against Kilmarnock, and indeed probably at Firhill as well, but it's this Thistle bandwagon that just keeps on rolling.
Yeah, it is. Ross County, for me, were the better team for most of that first half. You know, they came out the traps. It wasn't silky football, but they were getting the ball into the box. They were encouraged with the mistake earlier on from Mitchell dropping the ball. The momentum was Ross County. They were forcing Partick back into their box to defend things. Kyle Turner had a header off the line, and Partick weren't really getting down and getting the ball playing the way that, you know, Chris Doolan's team normally do. Having said that, as the half continued, I think Michael touched on it in commentary, you could just see Partick coming into it, and if they can get their attacking players on the ball in the final third, then things like the goal happen. It's a fantastic goal. It's very similar to other goals in these playoffs that they've worked, you know, coming in from a side, and the lad Fitzpatrick, composure, you know, doesn't lash at it, takes the touch, gets his head up, and, you know, I won't say he's killed the tie off, but he's put Partick in a hell of a strong position.
Yeah, I've noticed some nervous looks on the faces of quite a few of the Partick Thistle, the directors, those who are in and around the club. Tom, during the first 45 minutes, the looks on the faces changed as Aidan Fitzpatrick smashed that one low into the corner of the net. You guys all felt beforehand Thistle were favourites, even more so now?
Oh yeah, well, you know, they're 3-0 up against a team that doesn't score many goals. And you could tell, you know, once that moment when Graham played it into Tiffany and he flashed it across the face of the goal, that kind of was the turning point, because they'd weathered whatever, I'd hesitate to call it a Ross County storm, but a lot of possession by Ross County. They'd soaked up all of that. That Tiffany chance followed by the penalty claim followed by the goal. You know, that Tiffany chance was I think that was when the half kind of flipped, and Partick Thistle have looked pretty comfortable from then on. They've got the goal because they have goal scorers in their team. And, you know, Tiffany, as Simon was saying, as Mikey said, showed composure, showed patience, showed coolness under pressure, and he scores. And because he's Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick. And Fitzpatrick is in decent goal scoring form. He's a very confident player. Flip side of that is White. He's a great chance towards the end of the half, and he misses the ball entirely. And that, in microcosm, is the difference between the two teams.
The penalty claim, I've got to say that's the first time I've seen that happen in the flesh, where a referee has come across to look at the screen and then decided not to change his decision. My gut feeling, like Mikey's during the game, just seeing it as it was playing out, was that he got the correct call the first time. You've had the chance to watch replays, guys.
Not convinced, Richard. I've watched it. I've watched it 10 to 12 times.
Well, that in itself.
This is the thing with VAR, because as we discussed, Tom and myself, it's not clear and obvious an error from the referee, and they've watched it as many times as we've watched it. And say if I'm a Partick player, I'm looking for it, and if I'm a Ross, I can see why it's not given. It's one of those ones where you could watch it 100 times and still be unsure.
But the mere fact that the referee took so long, I mean, Liam said it in commentary.
Yeah.
There comes a point where you've clicked past, you think, nah, you can't give it now because it clearly isn't clear and obvious. Although, let's be honest, we've seen that happen on a number of occasions since VAR came in.
Yeah, we have, and it isn't. But the fact that we're all talking about it, you could see it being given because there is a bit of contact on the shin, by the looks of it. But it happened so quickly. I think the referee was justified in not giving it. You could argue that he could have given it, therefore it's not clear and obvious. And I know referees are kind of moving away from clear and obvious and they want just to get the correct call, but I'd still like to see clear and obvious, and I don't think there was enough in it to give a penalty in that occasion.
Right, I've just got a text from someone who is a Thistle fan and was amongst the Scottish football refereeing fraternity. And he says, I'm surprised he was asked to look at it. It was never a penalty, and I'm a Thistle fan. Defender's leg was there first. Thistle player caught his leg and tripped over it. So never a penalty for me.
That's pretty much, yeah.
You know the thing, Richard, we're talking about it here. The sending off last week was similar. It was a similar challenge, and the boy gets sent off last week.
Yeah, subjectivity.
Yeah.
You know, it's still there. Like, VAR is not going to remove, apart from offsides, when you're either offside or you're not. It's factual. But for this kind of stuff, this is down to referees' interpretation, and there's always going to be subjectivity in this.
Yeah. It might be that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Of course, the likelihood is it'll wash away in the sands of time, or it certainly will if Thistle see this out. You don't see Thistle changing their style in any way. I mean, even after 1-0 up and heading in deep into first half stoppage time, David Mitchell gathers the ball, Simon, and his first thought is, right, I need to get this out. And actually, it was a really good long ball up to Tiffany, who then forced a corner. They'll just keep going that way, won't they?
They will do, yeah. And now, with the score being 3-0 on aggregate, Ross County will be forced to come forward, Richard, and that will play into the hands of Partick. They've got pace with Tiffany and Fitzpatrick up front. They've got the experience of Brian Graham to hold it. And as I said earlier on, if these players can get the ball further up the park, they can cause problems. We've seen it right throughout the playoffs. The other impressive bit for Partick from myself, they did weather that storm. You know, you read the scores out there of the playoffs, out with the Queen's Park game. Everything's been clean sheets. This team have had to show a different side for the first 30 odd minutes of this game. But once the game opens up and they've got the players in that final third at Ross County, they can damage them.
The sun is shining across, certainly most of the pitch. Still a little bit chilly up the back of the stands, but a lot of the Thistle fans are in the sunshine. They have been absolutely buoyant. They've been noisy. The atmosphere electric, certainly in the wake of that goal by Fitzpatrick, and the subs just go through. I see that Stuart Bannigan has he's gone for the shaven-headed look. He's got a full beard. He's had a head of hair for a while, Stuart. That he's been toying into place, I think is probably as kind a way as I can put it, but he's gone for the shaven look. He's down there, vast experience. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see him at some point, Bannigan. The rest of his teammates there, all just going through their warm-up in the sunshine. I remember
as a kid at Partick Thistle coming through when I was there, just carrying the goals after training.
Wow.
He's been a fantastic servant.
He certainly has.
He was in our team as we coached there. Fantastic servant to Partick.
Well, and it's guys like that, I suppose, it's going to mean an awful lot. The boys who have been around for a long time, who have been part of this club, who suffered in the way that the fans suffered when the club went down from the Premiership last time round. Then, of course, down into League One on the season that was called and everything that went with that. They are now just 45 minutes away from being back at the top table of Scottish football. From counties point of view, Tom, do you feel they look a beaten side right now?
I think the goal knocked the stuffing out of them. I think if for them to have any chance, then they would need to have scored early, kind of inject a bit of doubt in Partick Thistle minds, but they just aren't good enough. And Partick Thistle look a good side. They look a side that believes absolutely that they're going to score a goal. Every time they come forward, they look to have something about them. Because they've got massive confidence. The score's at 80. Is that 19 goals now they've had in the playoffs? You know, they're a kind of goal-scoring machine. And they look a well-coached team. Doolin has just done the most remarkable job with these guys. And I think Ross County's race is run. They conceded too many goals during the regular season, didn't score enough. This is where they end up. And I'm reminded of a quote from Brian Graham that appeared in the morning papers, and it goes back to the COVID season, and he says he wants to shove 2 fingers up to everyone that shafted us. I think Brian Graham on full time, if Partick Thistle are promoted back to the top division, will be worth looking at.
Wow. I think there's a chance we're going to... No, Simon Murray is out there. Actually, he's just gone out and rejoined the subs who are warming up. He came up the tunnel like an express train and started sprinting around the pitch. It would make sense, wouldn't it, to get Simon Murray on alongside Jordan White probably for the second half. And
he goes about everywhere like an express train. We had him at Dundee United as well, but he is somebody that might just, trigger a bit of energy into this Ross County team. He's a pest. He is in the best shape of description of that word. He's a pest. He'll not stop. He'll try and harass, and he might, ignite something for Ross County. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him early on in this second half.
Yeah, so plenty of him in the first half of the season. He certainly had a very strong first half of the campaign with Queen's Park, one of the top scorers in the Championship at that point. Made the move to County. It looks like he will be up against his former team in the Championship next season, unless there is some kind of miraculous turnaround for Ross County in the second half. They now trail by 3-0. I think we can be guaranteed that Murray is coming on. Just getting a shout there from one of the coaching staff as well. It is a huge 45 minutes ahead for Ross County. Can Malky Mackay find something in his team? Can he cajole them to come up with something in the closing 45 minutes of the campaign, or will it be Partick Thistle who are back in the Premiership? It will be it's going to be a massive 45 minutes ahead. You kind of feel that the pressure is all on Ross County now. They're going to have to make something happen, and probably fairly quickly in the second half. Otherwise, Partick Thistle, they could certainly. Partick Thistle have the players, Simon, that can hit them in the break and capitalise on any little mistakes, any little openings they leave.
Absolutely, but I really think from Ross County's point of view, Richard, bringing Simon Murray on, and I wouldn't even do it at the expense of one of the other strikers. There's no point going out in a whimper now. They have to go for it, but the other side of that coin is, as you quite rightly said yourself there, that could play into the hands of Partick, but it's a position Ross County find themselves in now, and they have to go for it.
Yeah, having said it looked to me that he was coming on, there is no sign. No sign of a change, which I don't know. As you say, I know he's full of energy, Simon, and he does go about his business in that way, but there was such intent with him there. Kind of felt surely he's coming on, and maybe the County fans will be a little bit surprised that there is no change at half-time. Here come the Partick Thistle team, led out by the captain, Ross Docherty, who may have got a penalty earlier on. Wasn't given. They did have to escape one header off the line. I think it was Turner with the clearance then, but Thistle subsequently scoring through a fine finish from Aidan Fitzpatrick and smashing the ball low into the net to give his team the advantage with his 7th goal of the season, and that is now 3-0 on aggregate as we move into the final 45 minutes of the 2022-23 Scottish football season. The final place in the playoff next season will be determined as we head back. Live commentary on Sports and BBC Radio Scotland with Michael Stewart and Liam McLeod.
Ross County need to score 3 times. They've only scored 3 times in 6 matches this season, 3 or more, and only twice in one half of football. One of those was very recently as they get the second half underway. The 3-3 draw with St Johnstone just a couple of weeks ago. They scored all 3 of their goals in the second half. But they need to be 3 unanswered goals from this point to force just extra time. As Randall comes down this right-hand side, as Richard says, no changes. Randall gets his cross in. Goalkeeper's missed it for the 3rd time. He's had a problem from a cross ball. But this will survive it once more.
Well, on that occasion, though, he was under serious pressure from Jordan White. And here's Partick Thistle with the opportunity just to go up the other end and counter on them. although they've just retained possession and gone back the way. But it's fascinating to see how Ross County approached this second half, because first half it was build the game, work your way into it. Second half it's just got to be throwing caution to the wind, really.
It's all on the line now, isn't it? I mean, they're playing with the house's money. Oh. There's a slip now. Alex Samuel might be able to get in there. He's in one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He needs to take advantage of it. It's saved. It's bobbling towards the line, and it's cleared away by Aaron Muirhead. And it stays 1-0 on the day to Thistle, and 3-0 in aggregate as a cross comes in towards White, and it's headed away by Brownlee. He was the man who slipped and allowed Samuel in. Samuel simply had to score it, and he doesn't, and it stays 3-0 in aggregate to the Jags.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Liam. He has to score. It's as simple as that. You know, when you're gifted up opportunities like that, I think was it Muirhead or Brownlee? I'm not sure which.
Brownlee slipped and then Muirhead on the line, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, when Brownlee slips there and Samuel's run through, if you've got any hopes of getting back into this game, you've just been gifted the opening. You have to score. It's as simple as that. You know, credit to Muirhead for getting back onto the goal line to flick it away, because it might well have just been flicking off the goalkeeper and carrying enough pace to get over the goal line. I mean, that's the desire from Partick Thistle, to make sure that they don't lose the goal. Ross County gifted that opportunity with the slip from Brownlee. They've got to score. They've not, and you just wonder, you're not going to be given too many opportunities, and that one was there.
It's Purrington wide in the left for County. Another ball into the box. White gets the flick, and then it bounces off Samuel's shin. Breaks back to Chanchola. His efforts blocked, and then cleared by Thistle. The save from Mitchell. And now they're able to come away on a counter-attack. It's been a really good start to the second half, in all fairness, by Ross County, but they haven't managed to pull themselves back into the tie just yet. It stays 3-0 Thistle in aggregate.
Well, it has been a good start. There's been better opportunities in this second half than there was in the first, but they've got a mountain to climb here. But it needs to start somewhere.
Yeah, they need a goal to get to base camp, and then they can work from there.
Exactly. Get to base camp too. They really need to get that goal to build something. But I wasn't 100% sure what David Mitchell was doing there when the ball came back. I thought he could have just caught it, and he flamboyantly dives and punches it away. It didn't obviously clear the lines, but I'm not convinced with it.
Thistle going right to left in the second half in the red and yellow, shooting towards the academy end, which is the end of the stadium that holds the visiting supporters, and they are crammed in behind Ross Laidlaw's goal. As it comes back up the other end, the jail end, and it's booted clear by the aforementioned David Mitchell. One in the centre circle there by County with Baldwin, but it's going to be a free kick anyway to County of Laidlaw on goal. Randall, Watson, Baldwin, Purrington, Kenna, Chanchola, Laturi, Danda, White and Samuel for Thistles. Mitchell in goal, McMillan, Muirhead, Brownlee, Holt, Turner and Docherty in the middle, Lawless, Tiffany Fitzpatrick supporting Brian Graham.
If you think about just before half-time, Jordan White's chance, and that one there not long after half-time with Samuel, they're two gilt-edged opportunities that Ross County really can't afford to pass up.
A long ball into the box by Randall. Well, there'd been a little push at the back post. The referee didn't see it as a foul, but Thistle able to get it clear anyway. It was Purrington attacking it, and it's out for a throw-in. And the County fans are liking what they're seeing from their team at the start of the second half, but they're such a long way back now. Baldwin will take. As I say, they did score those 3 second half goals against St Johnstone. Yes, they conceded a couple too, so that wouldn't do. They need to score 3 for extra time. Baldwin with the long throw into the box, away by Docherty. Picked up by Danda. Took too long to shoot. Eventually it's charged down, and it breaks kindly for David Mitchell, who holds on to it to the left-hand side of his box, and it stays Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1 on the day. What have County got left? As things stand, they will be joining Dundee United in the Championship next season, and it will be 2 up from the second tier. Header from Baldwin up towards halfway. Docherty fouled by White, and it will be a free kick to Partick Thistle, and that just takes a bit of pressure off their defence as well, because they would have known, I mean, Chris Doolan would have known that Ross County were going to come flying out the traps at the start of the second half. Their need is urgent. They need to try and rescue this tie. So it's a question for them of just weathering that storm.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that Chris Doolan would have been putting that message across. He would have been thinking that there's going to be some sort of reaction from Ross County.
Turner takes the free kick from the left of the centre circle out to the right-hand side. Can't find Lawless. Now he goes for a throw-in. Purrington over there at the Thistle supporters, of course, boot the ball away from Ben Purrington, who is in dialogue with the Thistle supporter who kicked the ball away. There's another ball's made its way onto the pitch now. It just slows things down a little more for the visitors. A few times where the championship side has managed to negotiate the playoff final. Generally goes the Premiership's team's way. They've prevailed in 5 of the 8 times that it's been contested. Hamilton, Livingston and Dundee have all been promoted via the playoff final. The top flight side has saved their skin on the other 5 occasions.
So this is the 9th final, and it's looking like it's going to be 9-4. So that's not a, you know, as much as we talk about how it's weighted in favour of the Premiership side, it's not a bad effort from the Championship teams then.
Absolutely. Of course, there was no playoff final in 2020 because of the pandemic. He was out for a throw-in. Partick Thistle know all about the repercussions in footballing and sporting terms of what went on 3 years ago. And they got themselves a ball out on the far side to the visitors, and it's been a good few minutes for Partick Thistle. They've just stymied the start to the second half by the Staggies. 8 minutes into the second half now. As the throw-in's taken to Docherty. It's a lovely turn by Ross Docherty to the edge of the box. Gets the cross in. Graham just too high for the big man, and it's cleared by Conor Randall.
Well, the thing is, when Partick Thistle attack, you know, it's a moment of quality from Ross Docherty, but there always seems to be, you know, either a shot on goal or something that's very close. It very seldom frizzles out to nothing. They've got a real danger when they go forward. Partick Thistle. It was a lovely ball from Ross Docherty, very, very close to Brian Graham getting on the end of it.
Chris Doolan down below us is turning to his bench and having a little look at his coaching staff and his subs. County have a throw-in on this main stand side. And midway inside the Thistle half, Baldwin with a long ball into the box, and it comes. Samuel's got his eye on it, it's allowed to bounce. White was there, headed away by Muirhead, I think it was, and then there's a foul by Chanchola on Lawless inside the Thistle box. That will be a free kick to the visitors, and it will stay 1-0 Partick Thistle on the day, and 3-0 overall in the tie. It really has been a spectacular playoff campaign. That 7-goal thriller against Queen's Park in the first leg in the quarter-final, but that's as close as they've been pushed, really. Of course, they thrashed Queen's Park in the other leg, and then did quite the number on Ayr United, 3-0 and 5-0, and they've scored 19 goals in the process in 5.5 playoff matches. That's astonishing. You think that they are under so much pressure in these games, but they've been effervescent, they've been clinical, and they are heading to the Premiership. Almost 10 into the second half. And it's going to be booted forward by the Thistle keeper Mitchell up into the air. It drops down midway inside the county half. The Baldwin meets it with the head, looking for White, and it comes all the way through to Muirhead. He'll see it back to his keeper. They have to bring Simon Murray on. They have to do something, Ross County, to shake this tie up. And in fact, just as I say that, Simon Murray has done a little warm-up, and the vest's coming off, the tracky top's coming off, and he will come on. He can only name 6 subs today. Ahura Edwards would have been an option for them as well had he not been suspended. 3 red cards in his last 13 have resulted in him missing an extra match, and that extra match is the most crucial match of their season. It's back in the arms currently of Mitchell, and Simon Murray, Mikey, is ready to come on. Pushing header by Graham on the near side. It's Patrick pushing it forward to Tiffany. The challenge from Baldwin, gets himself between the man and the ball, just shielding it from Tiffany as he clears. Chanchola back the way to Laturi as it's knocked forward down the right hand side. Brownlee goes back to his keeper. Mitchell's clearance sliced rather as Kenna heads it forward. White's in an offside position and it goes right through to the keeper. Jordan White telling Noah Kenna he should have controlled that in the chest. Malky Mackay gets a last word with Simon Murray.
I was just saying, it's good composed defending there. Muirhead, no panic, knows that Jordan White's well offside, lets the ball drift through to his goalkeeper.
Chanchola out-muscled by Fitzpatrick, who wasn't aware was behind him. So Laturi wins it back, down goes Fitzpatrick, no free kick. Connor Randall picks up in the centre circle. We have played 56.5 in Dingwall. Still Partick Thistle leading. That goal in the first half scored by Fitzpatrick, who got the first in the first leg as well. It all adds up with that Brian Graham goal in the stroke of half-time in the first leg to a 3-0 aggregate lead. County change, Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, Simon Murray thought he was coming on at half-time. He is now on the pitch. He's replaced number 42, the unknown Hibs midfielder, Noah Kenny.
Long throw in from Jack Baldwin coming up over on that east stand side. The far side, we're on the opposing side of the stadium here at the back of the main stand to the left of the halfway line. This throw-in's about level with the Partick Thistle penalty spot. Jack Baldwin will throw this into the Thistle box with everything he's got. Headed away by Graham. Really good header by Brian Graham. Helped on its way by Tiffany. And now Fitzpatrick charging it down the near side to get it through to Tiffany. Tiffany now driving through. I think he's offside, but he plays on anyway. Saved by Laidlaw in any case. Flag has gone up belatedly. It wouldn't have counted.
He's a mile offside and he's bringing it back for a free kick.
Which he can do because of the fact it was offside. The County won't be happy with that, but Nick Walsh has brought it back for a free kick for a foul by Randall. And it will obviously spill over into a real frustrated mess for Ross County at some point, the longer it goes without them scoring. As Docherty picks it up and clips it, switching it out to Stevie Lawless over on the far side. 2 minutes shy of the hour mark. Here comes Stevie Lawless. Reverse ball's beautiful, disguised. The pull back from McMillan's cut out. It's gone behind for a goal kick eventually to Ross County, and it remains County 0, Thistle 1 and 3-0 in aggregate. Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland across the frequencies, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The last of the domestic action for season 2022-23, and just those two huge Euro 2024 qualifiers to come later in the month. In a couple of weeks' time, Norway, Scotland, Scotland, Georgia. Here come County. Samuel back to Chanchola. It's a poor pass. He's looking for Danda, who's really been on the periphery of things since the interval. Jan Danda, need him to be at the forefront. Thistle come away down the right with Lawless. Over on that far side, the Thistle right as they attack the goal to the left. It's squared into the middle of the pitch here for Ross Docherty. Right-footed pass out wide left here for Fitzpatrick. Takes a touch, level with the penalty spot. Now level with the 6-yard line. Into the box he goes, drives it across low, and it's cleared by Laturi. Only half away though, and it's blasted high over the bar there by Turner, and that will be a goal kick to Ross County. It will stay 1-0 to Thistle on the day. And Brian can bring us news of a second County change.
Yeah, an hour gone on the clock. Number 3, Ben Purrington, has been replaced. Number 16, George Harmon, coming on. I would imagine this also a little tweak to the system for Ross County with half an hour left to play.
Yeah, they've got half an hour to save their Premiership status.
I don't think it'll be a change. I think it's very much a like for like. George Harmon's a left back. Purrington going off. I mean, the problem for Ross County is they're limited with their options at the moment with a shortened bench. They've just been lacking quality, plain and simple. They've had opportunities here today, but they've not been able to find the back of the net.
There's Baldwin forward to Chanchola. Good spin away from Docherty, and it draws the free kick, and it draws a yellow card for the Thistle captain. Free kick then to County. Laidlaw Comes a long way from his box to take it. It's almost level with the edge of the centre circle. He's taking it short with the left foot to Keith Watson. A bit of space to work in here, Keith Watson. Into the edge of the box, he crosses towards the back post, and it's a good take by Mitchell. Wasn't a great ball by Watson, to be fair, and it stays Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1.
Yeah, it was too much height on it. Made it easy for the goalkeeper to come and take it. On this occasion, he did it with no problem at all.
61 played in the second leg of this final. Flip ball forward by Kevin Holt, looking for Fitzpatrick, challenged by Laturi. Fitzpatrick turns him, controls, moves it infield, square ball for Tiffany. Tiffany under pressure from two county players, he finds Brian Graham. Oh, ball infield for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick infield to Graham, just to spread it out to the right for Lawless, who controls. Thistle looking to absolutely kill this stone here as it breaks the way to McMillan, right hand side. It's blocked by the goalkeeper, and then fired back in, and away off the line. It was Lawless, and over the crossbar for the corner. It's Connor Randall, I think, again. Two huge blocks in the first leg, and it will be a Partick Thistle corner as they look for a second on the day. They lead 3-0 in aggregate.
What a great strike from Lawless. Takes it out the air on the volley, and then what a clearance from Randall on the goal line, able to get it up and over the crossbar. But you just need to listen to the Partick Thistle fans behind the goal there to see how this is going.
The party's underway, isn't it? In comes the corner, breaks to the edge of the box as it's flicked clear to Fitzpatrick, rolls it to Lawless, looks up at the county box, looks up at the goal, shuffles onto the left foot, reversed, disguised ball is cut out by Jordan White, who clears. Docherty, though, will step onto that clearance, rolls it out to Turner on this left-hand side. Turner down towards the corner flag, out it goes for a throw-in to Thistle, who are beginning to move into the ascendancy here. They already are on both the scoreline today and the overall scoreline in the tie, but they are beginning to exert their authority in proceedings here. 63 played. An opportunity here for Thistle to keep County pinned back. Highlights to come of the second leg on Sports Scene this evening. Final domestic Sports Sound and Sports Scene of the campaign. Mention those two Scotland matches, full coverage, BBC Scotland radio and television later in the month. Header from Brownlee, forward to Graham. Graham works it back in field to Turner, who does so well to put in there ahead of Murray. He's not had a kick since coming on. Graham on the turn, the challenge from Laturi, and out of play for another Thistle throw-in on this near side on 63.5 minutes. It's the visitors who are on top. Kevin Holt is over it, but level with the edge of the D of the Ross County box. You just cannot see a way back into this for Ross County. Not many saw a way back into it for them when they were 2-0 down with 90 minutes to play, let alone the predicament that they currently find themselves in with just over 25 left of the second leg, and the damage has got worse. 3-0 down in aggregate. Ross Laidlaw with a long ball forward with the right foot, flicked on by Fight. Now it's Samuel taking it down, right-hand side of the Thistle box. What have County got left? They've got a corner here, down in this near side. Won by Samuel against Holt. And County find a goal and might just make this a proper game again. Jan Danda over the corner. Outswinger with the right foot coming up. Thistle change coming up. We'll get to Brian in a moment. After this corner's been taken, Danda into the penalty area. It's flicked towards goal, then blocked. Breaks to Chanchola. Rolls it back to Randall, looking for some space. Back out wide right for Danda. First time right, wraps the right foot round it. It's blocked and out for another Ross County corner, and the Thistle change will have to wait some more.
Well, both these corners are getting put into the box without Jordan White. He's having to get his head bandaged up again.
That's not ideal. Don Robertson
he's back on for this one.
Yeah. County need a goal. Malky Mackay is an agitated figure down there. In comes the Danda corner. It's flicked by Watson and clear. Breaks back to Danda wide on the right. Digs out the cross. It's decent. Flicked half away. There's an appeal for handball. The County fans in the JLN looking for a penalty. Doesn't look like it's coming. as Kevin Holt is fouled by Danda on the near side. Free kick Partick Thistle, change for Partick Thistle.
There is going to be a change for Partick Thistle. Stuart Bannigan is the player coming on. He'll be replacing the 2-goal hero, the hero today, Aidan Fitzpatrick. And of course, he scored the first goal on Thursday night, number 21, Aidan Fitzpatrick. But just having a look at that, Liam, I'm not quite sure. They're just having a check whether that was a handball or not.
Yeah, there's a review underway just now.
I didn't see a great deal. There was lots of bodies in there. Didn't think there was anything of note.
Still the wait goes on. Nick Walsh taking on advisement from Greg Aitken. We'll be watching the replays of it. Stuart Bannigan waits to come on. He's been at Partick Thistle since he was 16. Stuart Bannigan edging towards the 400 appearance mark, of course. In fact, he's over that now, isn't he? Bannigan, yeah, just over the 400 mark. One of the proper Thistle modern day legends, along with his manager, the likes of Stevie Lawless, even, who's back at the club. Let's go to Brian, who's had a look at a replay.
Yeah, I've had a look at a couple of replays now. The ball definitely came off the arm, the left arm of Brian Graham. He was jumping for the ball. There was a clash between two players. His arm was outstretched. I think this could be a penalty.
4,533 is the attendance inside Victoria Park. Brian says this might be a penalty, Mikey.
Well, we'll wait and see. It's certainly taken a fair amount of time, so you know that they're looking at a number of replays here.
Well, we're moving in towards the final quarter.
My gut is
the second leg.
That if I was to see a replay, I probably wouldn't think it was a penalty kick. The way handball is decided.
Again, it's taking. I mean, if this is, if it's taken long enough for the VAR to look at replay after replay, why not just call the ref over to have a second glance at it himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think we know that. It's been going on.
This has been going on a ludicrous period of time. Either get the ref over and let him have a look himself, or the fact that you're having to take so long, just get the game played.
You could probably, if you add up all the time it's taken for VAR checks this season since it was introduced in Scottish football, watch all three parts of The Godfather.
Well, the thing is, because it's taken so long for the VAR officials, then you've got the referee to come over. So as you said there, Liam, exactly, let the ref come over and let him decide.
Exactly, and then it's nipped in the bud. Simon Donnelly? He's going to come over and have a look at. What's your take, Simon?
It's not for me, but with the rules, and after watching the FA Cup final yesterday with Grealish, I think he'll give this.
The FA Cup final was an absolute embarrassment. And by the way, even with the laws as they are, that's still not a penalty for me because his arm.
Well, you should see this one, Michael, because he's challenging with the Ross County player. His arm's up there. He's not looking at the ball. He's challenging for the header, and it's hit his arm.
Well, my gut is that with the way things have been this season, it'll be a penalty kick.
Yeah, I think so.
It looks like a penalty is going to be given here. Brian's nodding his head. Yeah, well, Nick Walsh is watching it. I mean, this must be 5 minutes since the incident. And yeah, look, there's 20 odd minutes left. County score here. Will there be a dramatic finale? Let's find out if it's a penalty first and foremost. They've missed a couple of gilt-edged opportunities. Nick Walsh has made his mind up. Here he goes. There's the sign of the TV, and he gives the penalty to County. Well, this might be the route back in that they've been pining for.
Well, there's two big decisions in these games that Partick Thistle have been involved in with VAR. They've obviously not had it in the domestic season. They had the sending off that went their way last week, and now the penalty kick that's gone against them. They've certainly had a flavour of VAR, and there's been two big decisions, two controversial decisions.
They've only been awarded 4 penalties this season, Ross County. They have a 100% record from the spot, and Jan Danda has been picture perfect when he's been asked to take up these duties, and he stands just inside the box. Right-footed penalty coming up. Big moment for Ross County, this. Can they find a route back into this playoff? Their future is on the line. Here he goes, Danda, right-footed, goal! Right down the middle! Ross County might not be done yet. Jan Danda dispatches the penalty conclusively, decisively. and it's Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 1 on the day, but it remains 3-1 to the Glasgow side on aggregate.
Well, is that the opening that Ross County need to just build from? I still have serious doubts, because I don't think they've done enough in the game up until this point to see them that all of a sudden they're going to be fashioning opportunities, and you still think that Partick Thistle will have enough to create another opportunity or two, but you just never know. Our nerves going to kick in.
I mean, look, all bets are off when you see what Sheffield Wednesday did in the playoffs down south in that semi-final. The change has been made. Bannigan has eventually come on for Fitzpatrick.
All bets are off as well when you've got VAR involved. You never know what could be given. And there you go, that's exactly what they didn't need. From kick-off, they pass it straight out for a shy to Ross County and allow them to put the game right back into Partick Thistle's half.
Long throw in down the line, Baldwin, the flick on by White. Samuel gets the break of the ball.
There you go. Oh my word.
Simon Murray scores! County lead of the day. They're back to with win on aggregate. It's absolutely astonishing. 2 goals in just over a minute in Dingwall have changed this tie completely. Simon Murray, the substitute. He scored twice against Thistle for Queen's Park this season. That one's huge, and County are right back in this. What a resurrection! It is Ross County 2, Partick Thistle 1 on the day, and 3-2 now on the aggregate scoreline.
Oh my word. Oh my word. All bets are off now, because had the nerves not been kicking in, they well and truly are now. And that was completely self-inflicted from Partick Thistle. Straight from kick-off, they gifted the possession right back to Ross County. Long throw-in, turnover into the box. Ball's in the back of the net. 2 goals in quick succession. You talk about momentum shifting and building. That is it right there. This game is now up for grabs.
Big time. Big time. Ross County looking to stay in the big time as Thistle come forward. Graham with a header. He almost managed to tee up his teammate right in the 6-yard line. As Thistle come again, Tiffany to Turner, who it was that Graham was trying to find. Turner across, nobody there, and it goes out for a throw into County on the far side. Very different proposition now. And incidentally, 2 goals in less than 2 minutes leaves County with 17 plus injury time still to save this, and at least force extra time.
Well, you heard Malcolm Mackay before the game talking about if it's 0-0 and they get the first goal with 5 minutes to go, it'll make for a tasty 5 minutes. They've effectively got 17 minutes of it now. And with the shift as well, from being down and out, being completely out of this, to now, in the space of such a short period of time, flipping it on its head, 17 minutes to go and save themselves. They couldn't have dreamed of this just a few short minutes ago. And when you look behind the goals, I know they're trying to get their team going again, the Partick Thistle fans, but they were absolutely silent when that second goal went, and they could not believe what they were seeing.
When Thistle cleared after Brian Graham's handball, little did they know, after the lengthy VAR check, the penalty would be awarded, converted, and then Simon Murray would nudge County ahead on the day. As it stands, it's still Thistle who'll be in the Premiership next season. But my goodness, this has completely changed. The complexion is so different to what it was just over 5 minutes ago. Well, it just shows you, doesn't it? We're just talking about Sheffield Wednesday and the turnaround that they enjoyed. And Ross County have somehow managed to get this back in the melting pot. Here come Thistle though. Graham with the header out to Lawless. Chip ball towards the back post. It's Bannigan. Pushes it back towards Graham, and it's booted clear by Danda. Bannigan going after it still. Helped out by Tiffany. Takes it out to the corner flag on this near side. Tiffany holding it up against Chanchola, level with the penalty spot, swings the ball into the back post. Too much on it. Goal kick County. 2-1 County on the day. 3-2 Thistle in aggregate.
They still look dangerous, Partick Thistle, though. Again, it's not complicated. Up to Brian Graham, lovely little deft flick off to Lawless, and you're just thinking they're going to create another opportunity. But look, as I said, just when that second goal went in, all bets are off, because the nerves will be kicking in big time now. For as good a run of form as Partick Thistle are on, they're away from home here, they're 2-1 down, and they know if they concede another, it's extra time. So it's this really does make for an incredible last 15 minutes here.
Yeah, just about to say that. Ross Laidlaw, long ball, it's one in the air by Brownlee. His header goes out for a County throw-in on this near side. Well, there was a few eyebrows raised when Simon Murray swapped high-flying Queen's Park in the Championship for relegation-haunted Ross County in that winter window, but what a good signing he'll be if he's the man who's helped turn the tide. County still with work to do though. Baldwin with the up and under forward. It's away by on this left-hand side by Holt, and out for a throw-in. Keith Watson will leave for Baldwin. I mean, you've got to say, County are bound to get a chance at some point between now and full-time.
Yeah, well, they've already had a few that they've passed up.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about that now. 2 gilt-edged opportunities that they've passed up. Jordan White, just at the end of the first half. I mean, it was such a good chance for them to be able to get something from it. And then Samuel, when Muirhead slipped, he's through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. I mean, these are huge chances, and for them to now find themselves 2-1 in front today, 3-2 behind with just the goal of a difference, when to a great extent they've not really threatened a lot. It just shows you how crazy football can be at times.
Wait and see what the next 13 minutes plus injury time. There'll be a good few minutes added because of the VAR check for that penalty, as Chanchola moves it out to Danda on this near side. Danda then rolling it out to Randall. Randall then, it's an angle ball high into the Partick Thistle box, too high for White. They might break to Harmon. White's wanting a penalty, he was wrestled to the ground there. Malky Mackay's holding his suit jacket at Don Robertson, the fourth official, to protest. Might there be another VAR check for a possible penalty?
Well, he's holding it up just now. I didn't see anything from here personally. It's gone behind for the corner kick. Or is he holding it? No, it looks as if it's just play on. It's going to be looked at.
Nick Walsh just sorting the players inside the box. Looks as though it is play on here. Danda's going to bend the corner in with the right foot, and it comes. It's quick for goal by White, but it's wide. The reverse side of the goal, and it stays 2-1 to County and 3-2 to Thistle in aggregate.
Well, these are the things that just continue to build that momentum and the feeling that there is something there for them. It's good ball in from Danda. I think it was Jordan White that got on the end of it, but Keith Watson was close to it as well. Just drifted over the back at the back post area. Oh, Mitchell slipped. He gets good contact on it, fortunately though.
A little flick ball forward towards White, didn't know what it was, and it pops out at the feet of Ross Docherty for Thistle. He moves it forward into the County half for Lawless, and they turned as well to knock it out to McMillan on the far side. Just over 10 minutes remaining of the 90. Thistle so close to the Premiership. Stuart Bannigan driving forward, rolls it to the right of the box. Graham takes a touch and rifles it over the bar. And it will be a goal kick to County. Any Thistle goal now would surely settle it. 11 to play. County 2, Thistle 1, 3-2 to the Jags in aggregate.
We thought the first goal when Thistle went 3-0 up in the tie, that was it put to bed. But certainly that was a really well worked move from Partick Thistle. Good composure, nice passing. And then as it slipped into Brian Graham, he gets a good first touch. He should have done better.
Great touch by Samuel. Gets round the defender, left-footed, and his cross is cut out, and it's cleared by Docherty.
By the way, I mean, the defender, I'm not sure who it was, whether it was Muirhead. They tried to take Samuel down.
He did, yeah. It's good. Alex Samuel's been excellent in this, during this period of resurrection for County. Throw in for Thistle on the near side to be taken by Holt. Some atmosphere inside this place. We've ticked on to 80 minutes. 10 of the 90 left. Plus injury time. Stoppage time. Chanchola trying to get onto it, the angle of the box. Docherty has it for Thistle. Forward to Tiffany. What a lovely spin it was by Tiffany. Driving forward. Watson fouls him. There'll be a card here for Keith Watson. Straight red. Keith Watson's been sent off.
That's not a red card. It's not a red.
Is he denying a goal-scoring opportunity there? That's obviously what Nick Walsh thinks.
It's nonsense. It's nonsense. I mean, look, it's a bad tackle. He knows what he's doing. But do you honestly think at this stage of the game he's going to do that knowing that he's going to get a red card? It's a yellow card all day long, Keith Watson.
Unless he sees it as a violent challenge.
Give me peace.
He's smashed him. I think he's wrapped him down the Achilles.
It's a sore one, it is, but I mean, it's not a red card. It's a game of football, you know, like, honestly. It's not a red card.
Right, hold on, because there's more action, I think, being taken here. Nick Walsh is summoning a player or two over. It's a yellow for Kevin Holt. There's another yellow for somebody else here, I think, for Randall. So as it stands, County are down to 10 men. Yellows being dished out by Nick Walsh. Keith Watson ordered off. Now, will Greg Aitken, the VAR, be intervening here?
I'd be amazed if VAR intervened and downgraded it, because it's one of those where they will see it. There's enough in it to warrant a red card. But for me, as a football fan watching the game, he knows what he's doing. He's stopping an attack. He's almost on the halfway line. It's not a red card.
Is it similar perhaps to the John Lundstrom one at Easter Road early on in the season?
Oh, he has been called over. Well, you know, tell you what, I've been wrong with how I think VAR was going to act on a couple of occasions here, and hopefully it gets the decision. I mean, look, it's a bad tackle. He knows what he's doing. It's a yellow card.
Well, Nick Walsh is over having a look at the monitor. You didn't think it was going to be a quiet VAR day today, did you? Here he goes. This is going to be downgraded to a yellow.
Incredible. I'm astonished at it, but thank goodness. Thank goodness. And by the way, it's another one of those moments that gives Ross County a feeling of, we're in this. There's something here for us.
This was never going to be quiet. The first season of VAR in Scottish football, the last domestic game.
But why is Nick Walsh producing the red card? You know, that to me, that's a poor decision from the referee. Thankfully, VAR has overturned it. But just getting overly emotional as well, the referee.
I mentioned the Lundstrom one, of course, that was pre-VAR, so he was ordered off. It was, of course, downgraded after the event, as, of course, they were back in those days. But County back to their full complement. Keith Watson stays on, yellow carded only eventually. 7 minutes left. There's got to be a good 8 or 9 added on at the end of this.
Well, at least.
Yeah.
At least. There's been an incredible length of time been waiting for these VAR decisions. And then when you take into consideration general sort of breaks in place, substitutions, I would not be surprised if it was double digits that were getting put up here at the end of this.
The penalty that Danda dispatched, that was a good 5 minutes anyway, wasn't it? And then that red card, a good 2 or 3, the subs it up. Could be looking at 11 or 12 then. There's Chanchola gets onto it now. Murray, Chanchola. It'll be important for Chris Doolan and his players to keep their heads here amidst the furore. Long ball, Harmon gives chase. He's not going to get there. Goal kick Thistle. And I mean, all of the decisions being made, the right ones, the wrong ones, all of that. It's important. You've got to remember what's at stake here and keep your head in the game for both sets of players. 5.5 left of the 90. And we could feasibly have another 15 left, all told. We shall see. The usual drama of Scottish football laid bare here in Dingwall, as that comes off the heel of Tiffany and out for a County throw-in on the near side to be taken by Randall to the right-hand side of his own penalty area. County leading the game by 2 goals to 1. Thistle leading the tie by 3 goals to 2. County score again, they could force extra time. And I didn't check any odds when they came back out for the start of the second half. It must have been as long as possible. Here's Danda for County, galloping down the right, getting the cross in, headed away by Holt, I think it was, and out for a throw-in on this near side for County, about level with the 6-yard line. But into the final 5 minutes of the 90. Throw-ins taken by Danda to Baldwin, low ball back, it's a scuffed effort by Watson, and cleared there by Holt. Watson catches that better. He might well have caused a problem for Mitchell as Laturi and Tiffany come together on this near side, and the referee's going to have to sort that out, and Brian McLaughlin can calm everything down by talking us through a double change.
There's going to be a double change. Tilson and Sims are certainly going to be the players coming on. Laturi, he'd already gone into the bench, although his number's actually not gone up yet. He is going to be one of the players coming off. We're still not sure. I mean, Malcolm Mackay's down here. Yeah, Laturi is definitely off, and number 22 Tilson is on. Josh Sims is also going to be coming on. I'm not sure they've decided yet who will be replacing. It looks like number 4, it's going to be number 4, David Cancola. This is why we love this game, is it not?
Isn't it just? Well, you can have a go at the SPFL all you like, but bringing these playoffs back has been a masterstroke. Jack Baldwin with a long throw here. He's midway inside the Thistle half on this near side. He's decided against the long one into the box, plays it short back to Randall, takes a touch, lifts the high ball into the area. White wins his header, it's headed towards goal, it's cleared on the 6-yard line, breaks to Jan Danda wide on the left hand side, rolls it up the line. Chance perhaps here for County. Tilson on the slide, can't find a teammate, and Lawless will let that trickle behind for the goal kick to Partick Thistle, who, in amongst all the drama and all the controversy, Michael, are so close to the Premiership now that they can almost touch it.
Yeah, so close, but yet so far. These are an agonising last few minutes for Partick Thistle and for their supporters. If they weren't to make it, it would be so harsh on them, because they've been very good, Partick Thistle. Very good.
Some backbone though from County, hasn't it?
Oh, I mean, it is. Look, if Ross County come back and stay up, you've got to give them huge amount of credit in terms of mentally staying in the game. But Partick Thistle are a good football inside. They're good to watch.
Nick Walsh is telling Brian Graham to calm down. It's a challenge between he and Watson. And it's going to be a free kick to Partick Thistle on this near side. We're almost on to 88 minutes. And then it'll be all eyes on Don Robertson to see how long's being added. It's going to play for a throw-in on the near side. It's come off Sims. We are throw-in to the Jags, about level with the County 18-yard line. And Partick Thistle know if they've got the ball in Ross County territory, then they can't be hurt. County would not be able to do any damage. Here's Tiffany down in the byline, winning the corner. Is he? No. Goal kick. Goal kick County. Less than 2 of the 90 minutes left.
Well, the next intriguing aspect of this is to see how long the injury time it's put up.
Long ball, bouncing ball, headed away by Aaron Muirhead. Danda got there ahead of Docherty, felt that he'd been fouled there. It's up the line, it's gone out of play. It's going to be a free kick though for a foul on Tiffany by Josh Sims, I think it was, down in this near side. It's going to be a free kick, and that just takes away a few more precious seconds from the clock for the Partick Thistle supporters, heading towards minute 90.
I think it was Tilson that went in, and the Ross County bench were adamant that there was no contact. But a free kick is given, and you're right, it allows Partick Thistle just to slow things down, try and take the heat out of it. But you know, as soon as this board's going up with the 4th official, there's going to be a big reaction to it.
Free kick is not a great one from Mitchell, the keeper. Up the line it went, and it's cleared there by Sims, and I hear there will be 10 minutes added on.
I did say to you I would be expecting double digits, and so it is. 10 minutes. I'm not surprised by that at all.
Throw-in taken by Holt on this near side. Down goes Turner, no free kick. It's going to be a County ball, and Turner, a little push out at Danda. Maybe a throw into County on this near side. Baldwin, long ball down this near side from the throw. White gets it to Sims, then Samuel back out to Sims. Bannigan gets there, shielding the ball down towards the corner flag, then hooks it up the line. Tilson wins the header. 9 minutes have been added, not 10. Danda with chance! Goal! George Harman volleys it home, and Ross County have sensationally come back from the dead to force extra time in this playoff final. They were all but down. They were doomed, but suddenly, with final.
Wow.
It is County 3, Thistle 1, and it is 3-3 in second half stoppage time in the second leg of the playoff final.
Wow.
On aggregate.
Well, I mean, you've got to say Ross County are the favourites now. This is absolutely incredible. What's going on here, though? The referee's walking over. The game's not restarting.
Well, the replays are being viewed by Brian down there. We'll get to him as soon as he's had a chance to look at one or two of those to see, is there an offside in the build-up? Is there some kind of infringement? We've played one of the 9 minutes that were added. We had heard there was to be 10. Nick Walsh hasn't restarted the game as yet. He's talking to the VAR, Greg Aitken, quite clearly. I don't know if Brian's had a chance to have a look at a replay as yet.
Nope.
Nothing yet. Yeah, he's given it.
A goal.
He's given the goal.
Oh,
wow! The last game of the season is delivering big time.
Wow, 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 wow. And you've got to say Ross County, the momentum is all with them. And credit to them, because they were dead and buried. There was no way, but I could not see how they were coming back. I feel for Partick Thistle, though, because having not seen the replays, my gut instinct, it shouldn't have been a penalty that has ignited this comeback. But Ross County have just been riding the wave ever since.
Amazing. It's one of the most amazing things you've ever seen. It really is. Thistle have got themselves a corner. Meantime, they played 2 of the 9 minutes that were added. Because of the goal, there'll be time added on top of that. And as it stands, we're getting an extra half hour. In comes the corner, out comes the keeper, and Laidlaw's got his gloves on it. The county fans and Thistle supporters cannot believe what they are witnessing here in Dingwall. Lovely run forward here by McMillan. He's been a superstar in these playoffs.
Oh,
Tiffany,
great ball.
into the corridor it comes, and Laidlaw holds on. That was bent in, shaped in with the left foot, and Laidlaw holds on delightfully for the county fans. But this is utterly agonising for those who've come up from Glasgow.
I mean, what a ball that was in from Turner. I was just expecting something to drop for Brian Graham that was in there. Great ball from Turner. And I've got to say, though, my recollection of that third goal is, where's the Partick Thistle defence? George Harmon seemed to have an acre of space. Good finish. He just calmly passes it in off the post and finds the back of the net. I mean, what a game. What an incredible game this is.
Yeah, it's barely believable. Danda to Sims on this near side. Out of play it goes. We played just over 3 minutes of the injury time. I mean, the way this is going, County could quite easily score again here.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough time. Injury time aplenty. He would not put it past them, as crazy as this game has been, to finish it off.
Harmon, this time with the cross ball in, looking for White. It's headed away by McMillan. I mean, this, given the stakes right now, it couldn't be much bigger. Do you almost kind of reset and say, look, let's settle for the extra half hour? Or do you try and get the job done in whatever time's left here? I mean, we've played 4 minutes of 9 that were added.
Well, I think the way that the momentum is going, and as I said, riding the wave, you just keep going. Why not?
Free kick's been given to Partick Thistle just at the edge of their own box.
You've still got to be conscious that you're playing against a side who have real good attack and threat, but the game is being played in their half. Keep doing it. There's no point in taking the foot off the gas.
George Harmon's 3rd goal of the season. And it's one of the most important goals in this Premiership season, in this Championship season, in this playoff final for a place in the top flight. Could be priceless if Ross County are able to retain their top flight status. Long ball forward, Watson beats Graham to it, heads it forward, Samuel goes down, challenged by Holt. It's away by Brownlee, back into the Thistle half by Watson. Controlled by White, of course, with the whole Keith Watson red card debacle as well. And ball slipped through down the right-hand side of the penalty area. It's with Turner. Rolls it to the edge of the box for Docherty. Takes a touch, he shoots, right-footed, deflected, right through to Laidlaw, who holds on to it. He had other options as well. We've played 5 minutes of it, stoppage time at the end here. And it remains County 3, Thistle 1, and 3-3 on aggregate. Who saw this coming?
Not me. I don't think many did, especially when Partick Thistle put that ball in the back of the net.
I don't think the most optimistic county fans saw this coming.
No chance, especially the timing, 1-0 down at half-time. Didn't see it.
Here's Lawless down the right-hand side of the County box, gets to the byline, hangs it towards the back post, flicked away behind for the corner by Sims. Partick Thistle corner. Nail-biting drama here in Rossshire. Kyle Turner comes out to this near side to take it as Thistle attack the goal to the left. Their fans will be trying to suck this ball into Ross Laidlaw's net. In comes the corner kick, a header down, might break here. There's a volley at goal which is blocked. They're claiming there for some kind of infringement. Then Docherty hits it high over the crossbar, and that will be a goal kick. When that dropped Aaron Muirhead, that looked as though he was going to strike it at goal, find the goal, and potentially find the goal that would take Thistle into the top division. It stays after 6.5 minutes of 9 that were added on at the end of this playoff final. 3-1 County and 3-3 in aggregate.
I think was it Brian Graham that had a free header as well? I mean, and then when it broke to Aaron Muirhead, I mean, he got a great strike on it, a great strike that clattered off of Harmon's head. It was straight off his head, and I'm telling you, if he wasn't there, if it didn't hit his head, if it was a foot either side, that's probably in the back of the net, because there was so many bodies in front of Ross Laidlaw, he wouldn't have had time to react.
This has been the Scottish football season in microcosm today. They've packed in a season's worth of drama into one game of football here.
And who criticises VAR? Brings the stories non-stop.
Can't think of anyone, Mikey.
No.
Danda chasing it down the right. It's cleared by Holt. And there's less than 2 minutes of the official time that was left. County's aggregate equaliser came during the injury time, so there'll be time added on top of that as Watson smashes it forward. Sims tried to get something onto it, comes off Holt, I think for a County throw. Now where's Jack Baldwin? Here he goes. The County fans are looking around in disbelief, really. They're looking at the pitch and wondering, is there one more moment of magic to come for them inside the regulation football match? Jack Baldwin drying the ball down with his shirt down on this near side. We played 8 minutes of 9 that were added. The closing seconds of the Scottish football season might be about to be extended. In it comes to the box. It's headed away by Holt. Kept alive on the left-hand side. It's Simon Murray. Finds Watson at the edge of the box. He has a shot at goal. It's on target, but it's held on to by Mitchell. Didn't have the power to beat him. It stays 3-1 to County. 3-3 in aggregate. It's looking, and I'm loath to say it at this point given what we've watched today, but it's looking like extra time. Long ball forward by Mitchell. Tiffany. It came off his hand there, and the ref did spy it, so it's a free kick to County. We're about to move into a 10th minute of stoppage time. 9 were officially added. Ross Laidlaw over the free kick. One long ball might put this Thistle defence under some duress here. Through it comes, Samuel gives chase. There's the whistle though, it's a foul by Jordan White. It's a free kick to Thistle at the edge of their own box. And it looks as though another 30 minutes will be required. We might even need penalties.
What a game. What a game. I mean, just full of drama.
Full pelt, full tilt, both teams. Turner pushing it forward to Graham as they get into the attacking third. Graham claiming for a free kick's not getting one. Baldwin clears. We are 9.5 minutes deep into stoppage time. Danda's header into the Thistle half. I think Muirhead comes to meet it.
I think everybody looking at the result from the first leg was thinking Ross County need to get that first goal and it'll set things up for a really entertaining second game here.
What do they know?
Well, I mean, everything that you would think about the game has just panned out the complete opposite.
Here's a chance though for Thistle, and it's Lawless, right hand side of the box, twisting and turning away from Danda. Level the 6-yard line, chops back onto the left, but he's put it too close to Laidlaw, holds on at the near post. We played 10 added minutes now. 9 were initially added. Nick Walsh has had a look at his watch and his left wrist, and it's Laidlaw who'll clear it. Mikey.
I was just going to say, I mean, looking down there at Chris Dillon, he's not been a manager for long, and what a team talk if it gets to the extra time he's going to have to produce.
Sims down the right. He's got his cross in, and it went right across hits the back post, almost clipped the woodwork.
I think it did.
Harmon crosses in from the other side. It's Simpson back, and it's lashed over the crossbar by Murray. That was Ross County's Premiership status right there. 6 yards out, and Murray skies it over the jail end, and it's all over here after a quite pulsating second leg of this Premiership playoff final that will be decided by an extra 30 minutes, maybe even penalties as well. Ross County coming off the floor. They weren't even on the ropes, they were on the canvas. And they've managed to resurrect the tie somehow. Fitzpatrick had put Thistle 3-0 up on aggregate before half-time here in Dingwall. But County fought back admirably in that second half. They were 3-0 down on aggregate with 20 minutes to play. Jan Danda with a penalty awarded after the VAR check for a Brian Graham handball before Simon Murray tapped home less than 2 minutes later from Alex Samuel's cross. And then it was George Harmon in second half stoppage time, almost as late as you can get into the season, never mind this football match, as he smashed it past a stricken David Mitchell to force extra time that nobody inside this football stadium saw coming. It finishes after 90 and the injury time. Ross County 3, Partick Thistle 1, and 3-3 on aggregate. What a game!
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
And this is Scottish football. Drama writ large, as always. What a conclusion to the campaign. The two managers down there, Chris Doolan and Malky Mackay, surrounded by their players either side of the halfway line. The players taking on fluids, getting their hydration, trying to get their what must be in many cases aching muscles ready to get working again. It has been frantic, incredible, utterly unpredictable, and we have got another 30 minutes to get this sorted out. Look, just quickly, the players will be ready shortly. Simon Donnelly, an utterly astonishing second half to this game.
Incredible, just drama right through it. Yeah. We spoke about it at the start of the show, Richard, about the first goal. The first goal didn't prove to be important at all because this Ross County team came back. They looked dead and buried at one point. Having said that, they had two really good chances either side of the half-time, and to get back in it there, just, you know, getting into injury time. Incredible scenes.
Stunning, absolutely stunning. We should have been off air at 7 o'clock. We'll continue, of course, to bring you the conclusion, but just a little warning, because that is going to take us, the extra time is going to take us beyond 7 o'clock, obviously. We'll continue on 810 media wave on digital. If you're on your smart speaker, BBC Radio Scotland Extra, it'll be, I think it's Classics Unwrapped coming up at 7 o'clock on FM. But make sure you have the correct frequencies or platform selected if you want to stick with the football. That will be from about 7 o'clock. Right now, the referee and his assistants down there, they're sorting things out in the middle of the park. The two sets of players are back out. There are still various. The floor manager, Phil Sainsbury for Sky, he's out in the middle of the pitch at the moment. Not quite sure what Phil is doing down there. He might want to get off the pitch so that we can actually get the action up and running again. Fourth official, Don Robertson, he's been across with some fluids for the referee and his assistants. It has been just the most gut-wrenching, incredible afternoon. Those Thistle fans were absolutely buoyant. They were bouncing up and down away to our left. They had not a care in the world. And then the goal started flowing. 3 in the final 20 minutes for County. And almost at the end there, well, it was a real chance. The chance for a winner from Simon Murray, which he hooked over the crossbar. So, 30 minutes to go. And then, who knows, perhaps the penalty shootout, the drama to wrap things up. It'll all come clear over the next 30 minutes or so. First half of extra time about to get up and running. Just getting the go-ahead from those involved downstairs. My goodness, it has been absolutely draining. Can County push on and maintain their place in the top flight, or will Thistle find something to pull themselves back from the brink and to find the goal potentially that they need. Stay tuned to us right here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. Is as it stands 3-3 in aggregate between Ross County and Partick Thistle. Live commentary of the extra time to come with Michael Stewart and Liam McLeod.
The playoff final has gone to extra time a couple of times. The first year when it returned and Hamilton won on penalties against Hibs. The other time was when St Mirren preserved their Premiership status. That also on penalties, one of the worst penalty shootouts of all time. In fact, it was in Paisley, not that St Mirren cared. Dundee United didn't score any of theirs. So it will be County will get the first period of extra time underway. I mean, even half an hour ago, this extra half an hour seemed fanciful. County kick-off, right to left, shooting towards the academy end where the Thistle fans are mostly housed. And it's a flick by White. No further change to the teams. Harman goes after it. He's the man who has forced the extra time. Thistle clear. Brian Graham gets it into Tiffany's feet, left of the centre circle, driving forward. He's got support arriving to his right. Option to his left in Bannigan. Tiffany, well, he went for Bannigan. The other two were probably in a better position as it's cleared by Sims. Thistle have it on this near side. McMillan. One last huge effort from both sets of players here. As Lawless spins Randall on the near side, and out it goes for a throw-in to Partick Thistle on this near side. I mean, they must be mentally shattered, these Thistle teams, as well as physically shattered. I mean, it's almost, even though it's level, it's almost like they're having to come back now.
Absolutely. I mean, the momentum is well and truly shifted towards Ross County. And, you know, they're the ones that are winning on the night as well.
Yeah, 3-1. Very good performance. The second half in particular, albeit Jordan White had that magnificent opportunity just before half-time in normal time, as eventually that County defensive line holds, and it will go behind the goal kick to the hosts.
When you think of the big moments in this game that have passed, you just think to yourself, how on earth Ross County have managed to get themselves back at this game is incredible. Go back to that missed opportunity from Jordan White just before half-time to make it 1-1. The missed chance from Alex Samuel just after half-time. You just, you know, when you see those chances going a begging, you think to yourself, there's no way they can get themselves back into this game. You can't ignore, you know, and without having seen the replay, that is the caveat, but my gut is that it wasn't a penalty. You can't ignore that big decision. There was a big decision in the first game which I think went against Ross County. I don't think it should have been a red card. They've definitely got one there with a penalty, and then to score so quick, I mean, it just goes to, I mean, all preconceived ideas about what's going to happen in a game of football just fly out the window at times, and this is one of those occasions. Malky Mackay sitting there watching the referee going up to look at the replay of VAR, where they'd just been praying, please get the penalty and then get a second goal quickly, and it happens just like that, inside a minute. 2-0.
It's a long stoppage in play just now. Josh Sims is down. He's receiving treatment, so it's giving the players an extra bit of time to take a breather. You couldn't have asked for more excitement on the final day. It's excitement Partick Thistle could have been doing without. This wasn't in the script for them. It wasn't even in the script for County. It's been a long old season. Malky Mackay, at no point down there did he look a beaten man, though. You would have to say he was looking frustrated, he was looking aggravated, but kept cheering his players up. And of course, we're summing the match up. You can't forget the Keith Watson decision, and there was the possible Thistle penalty as well, which Nick Walsh was told to come over and have a look at and perhaps award the penalty. Stuck with his original decision as McMillan picks up for the Jags. Game on again. Big switch of play out wide on the left-hand side. And there's Tiffany. Himself away from Sims and turning it back up the line to Holt. Off the County boot and out for a Thistle throw. It's all a little tentative right now, Mikey. You can perhaps understand that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Totally understandable. And this is when, you know, nerves will be heightened incredibly for both sides. You know, Ross County have got themselves back into the game, but closer it gets towards the end of the game as well, and it's still sitting 3-3 over the tie, there's a realisation of what is riding on this game. You would not be surprised if there's a mistake from somebody that could potentially lead to the winning goal.
Yeah, well, if there is to be a winning goal, you'd rather it was a touch of class rather than someone's mistake that costs near side a place in the Premiership. Long ball to the right of the box for McMillan. His Thistle attack, challenging back well there though was Jordan White, who puts it out for a throw-in to the visitors on the near side. Everything currently with County though, they're the home team, they're leading this football match 3-1. And here's Bannigan for the Jags, looks up, left foot, bends the ball in. Graham can't quite get there, he was the meat in the sandwich, he goes down. County trying to clear. It's only half away though, as a shot from the edge of the box, which is cut out by Watson. Graham's still down inside the area. It's now with McMillan. Thistle playing on here, despite their teammate being decked in the box. There's obviously something wrong. He's not getting back up when Thistle are on the attack, and Nick Walsh does stop the play when Thistle were peppering around the County penalty area. Not sure why it couldn't have been stopped before then, but it has been eventually, and the medics are on to have a look at Brian Graham. There's going to be a lot of tired legs out there as well, and Michael talking about possible mistakes. Tired legs can sometimes cause mistakes in their own right. Will Brian Graham be okay to continue? Of course, both teams will get the extra substitute available to them because of the extra time. And Graham is waiting to get himself back to his feet. So where are we right now then? We're sitting with Ross County leading by 3-1, 3-3 on aggregate, and a rather tepid start to the first period of extra time, you would have to say. And I just wonder, do you put County down as big favourites now, Mikey? Do you think they'll go for the jugular and try and get this done before penalties?
Well, big favourites as the end of the 90 minutes was playing out. The start of extra time, I still have them as slight favourites, but not as big. Just Partick Thistle start to regain a little bit of composure. They've still got a threat going forward. You know, for me, there is no doubt that Ross County have got the upper hand at the moment, but not as much as that last sort of 10 minutes of the normal time. Once they scored that goal, that was when there was a huge surge of momentum with them.
Out for a throw-in on this near side for County. We've played 7 minutes of the first period of extra time. Incidentally, for listeners who will be waiting for Classics Live, we are going to stay with this game until its conclusion on all frequencies. So Classics Live will follow afterwards. Apologies if you're waiting on that. It will be a slightly later start time for that programme on FM and BBC Sounds.
This is a classic that's playing out live.
Yeah, indeed it is. Baldwin with the long throw. There's a header. Oh, it's come off the bar from Samuel. And it goes out for the goal kick. Big opportunity again for Ross County. And Alex Samuel, who I think has been excellent, particularly since half-time and normal time, has just clipped the top of the bar. And 7.5 into the first period of extra time. It stays 3-1 County and 3-3 in aggregate.
Well, it's just another one of those nervous moments that the goalkeeper, David Mitchell, he pulled his hands away. Now, I know it's at the top of the crossbar and eventually it's gone away without any danger, but it just doesn't look particularly great, and it just feeds into that feeling of nervousness.
Malky Mackay down there barking at his players. Chris Doolan, arms folded to his left. It's Thistle in possession here with Kyle Turner, just knocking it back the way. McMillan back to Turner, long ball looking for Brian Graham, he seems to be okay. Lovely little flick by Graham, Tiffany behind him. He's got an opportunity to shoot, which he does. It's a low effort held on to by Laidlaw. Scott Tiffany shot, he didn't quite catch it as he would have liked. And it stays 3-1 to County and 3-3 in aggregate. Long ball forward for the home team. Muirhead's underneath it. Onto the chest of Docherty. The pressure from Tilson. Breaks back to McMillan, who sweeps it to Kevin Holt to his left. Very even this extra time period.
Yep.
Holt driving down the left-hand side. Tiffany is brought down by Sims. And that will be a free kick to Partick Thistle, almost at the midway point of the Ross County half. 9 minutes of the first period of extra time have come and gone.
That's eagerness from Josh Sims, but he needs to use his brain as well. It's silly. You know, it gives an opportunity for Partick Thistle to throw the ball into the box, and anything can happen. You know, of course you want to close people down and work hard. Also, you've got to use your head. That was just a silly, naive free kick to give away. He wasn't going to be able to win the ball.
In comes the free kick. Missed a couple of players. Eventually comes off Baldwin's head. It's a bouncing one. It's difficult to deal with, and Tiffany's attacking it. Randall challenging, and Sims digs it out. He gave it away in the first place. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, he did well. Got his body in there. He actually has worked very, very hard on that right-hand side since he's come on, Sims.
Change coming up for Ross County, Brian. They get the extra time sub.
Yeah, it does look like it is going to be the final substitution of the afternoon for Ross County. Alex Samuel is the player who's going to be replaced. The youngster Jimmy Williamson, who Malcolm Mackay told us about early on before the game, is the player going to be coming on.
Oh, what a game to be coming on into. What a game it is. And on he comes. Jamie Williamson. He's just getting some last minute advice, and Alex Samuel, as I said, has been playing really well, but he looks beat as he makes his way off. He's put in a power of work, and he's had a big say, Michael, in this Ross County resurrection, without question.
Yep, absolutely. You can see Alex Samuel coming off there. He can barely move. It's like a tin man.
There's going to be a few of them out there. About 4 minutes of the first period of extra time remaining. It's all come down to this. Partick Thistle, their supporters, they will feel, should be on the A9 heading south, knowing they're in the Premiership next season. Not so. Not so. Simon Murray is lashed out there.
No way! What?
Well, I think Murray's been sent off there.
What is he done?
There's a yellow card in the hand of Nick Walsh as well. I think he's just flashed a red at Murray.
It's not even... It's nothing. It was just the two heads collided with each other. I mean, whether he's booked him or sent him off, none of it's a card. He shouldn't be getting anything.
It's a yellow only.
But it's not even it's not even a yellow card. It's two players going for a ball. I just think that's an absolute nonsense.
Well, firstly, the way Nick Walsh reacted there when he was pulling the card out of his pocket, it was like he was trying to summon lightning or something.
Yeah. But that's not even a yellow card. It's the ball's there, the two players have gone for it, and it gets nicked away. I think it was Holt, just marginally before Simon Murray. The two of the players just went for it with their head and they collided. How you can punish somebody for that is just... it's incredible.
Long ball forward is headed clear by Watson. Here comes the way of Graham, who heads it out to that left-hand side. Sims is underneath it. Bannigan shielding it, and he's won his team a throw-in. Over there, we've got about 2.5 minutes of the regulation time left in the first period of extra time. In this second leg of the Premiership playoff final, 3-3 in aggregate, 3-1 County on the day. Momentum with them, you would feel, but here come Thistle. He breaks the way of Docherty at the edge of the box, takes a touch, rolls it to his right. He's found McMillan, who looks up, stands it up to the left-hand side of the box, headed along the 6-yard line and clear by Randall. Well, that was promising from a Thistle point of view momentarily, as that goes out of play for a throw-in on the near side for Aaron Muirhead to take. 13 minutes into the first period of extra time. George Harmon's goal in second half stoppage time, forcing this extra half an hour. Agonising for Partick Thistle. They were stoppage time away from the Premiership. I mean, it's so difficult to, when you had that in the palm of your hand, to then have to try and negotiate mentally extra time when you're losing the game 3-1. Having been so close.
Yeah, very difficult. I mean, look, the emotions for both teams in this game have been up and down, huge peaks and dramatic troughs that they're having to deal with.
The Murray yellow we're hearing was for something he said rather than the challenge, and he's turned his man, he's driving into the penalty area. Shows too much of it to Muirhead though. poor touch from Simon Murray. Otherwise, he would have been in on goal and a chance
Something he
to put
said.
County ahead in aggregate.
That seems bizarre as well, because my recollection of it was that Nick Walsh was running from a distance and pulling the card out.
Tilson for County, out to Harman on the near side. Final minute of the first period. There will be time added on because there's been injuries, and we're hearing 4 minutes of injury time. We'll be here till midnight.
That was a great chance for Simon Murray before, and a really poor touch once he got into the dangerous area.
Sims gets the cross ball into the Thistle box. It's headed away. Lawless completes the clearance. Jordan Tilson takes it down. A little bit short with a pass for Randall. Graham gets onto it. The determination on his face as he runs to keep it in, which he does, and he's won his team a throw-in as well. Excellent play from the veteran Brian Graham. He's another who's been instrumental in this fabulous run that Chris Doolan has been on since taking charge. Just the one defeat since he took over, and that was across the Keswick Bridge against Cali Thistle. As Thistle pick up the ball as we head towards the first of the 4 minutes that have been added on at the end of the first period of extra time. And there, in fact, 3 minutes. I don't know, we were given an extra minute earlier as well.
Somebody keeps adding a minute on to whoever's telling you. Who is it, Liam? Who's giving you this false information?
I shan't be naming them, that wouldn't be fair. Down the right-hand side, it's with Turner. Infield to McMillan, back to Turner. Turner goes down. Was he fouled? No, says the ref. This will play on. At least it's an advantage he's giving them. Here's Lawless wide in the right. Lawless in field for Tiffany. Chip ball, the back post, almost found Graham, and Watson flicks it behind for the corner. I think they feel that Watson's been fouled there, but it's such an important header from the Ross County skipper. Thistle corner though.
Keith Watson's not complaining too much. I think that tells you enough. The correct decision, corner kick given.
Quite incredible afternoon in the Highlands. I say afternoon, we're well into the evening now. As Thistle prepare to take this corner. The referee's not happy with something in the box. He's having a word with Kevin Holt. He's up to attack this corner. What can Thistle make of this? In swinging delivery coming up from that far side. The Thistle left as they attack the goal to the right. It's bent into the box. The header comes to the right-hand side of the penalty area. It did come off of Thistle's head. Lawless, brilliantly done outside of the boot, and the cross comes in and comes off the defender and behind for another Partick Thistle corner. And suddenly it is they who are slugging it out in the final third, looking for the goal that might take them back to the top table. Corner from the Thistle right this time. Lawless over it. Thistle came down through the playoffs in 2018 at the hands of Livingston. They've had quite the roller coaster ride since then. Lawless with a corner, headed away at the near post. Breaks back to Lawless on this near side. Just kind of bobbled away from him at the last moment as he's challenged by Josh Sims, and then Lawless with an attempt to win it back. Looked illegal, the ref's letting it go, and then he's had a pull at Danda's shirt as well. He might have been booked for either of those. They're both professional foul looking. A bit cynical, and I think that's the question Don Cowie, Scott Thompson and Malky Mackay are asking of the officials. But it will be a free kick to Ross County. We played 17.5 minutes here, so we are well into the stoppage time at the end of the first period of extra time. 3-3 in aggregate, 3-1 County on the day, but all square overall. Long ball forward from Laidlaw. It's inside the Thistle half here. Danda picks it up, takes it for a run down this left-hand side. Up against Bannigan and Lawless, two Thistle legends. He's got the cross in as well. Murray couldn't quite get in the end of it, the near post. And it's half-time and extra time. No goals in the extra time period. George Harman's strike in second half stoppage time and normal time that forced extra time continues to be the most important moment of this tie, of this Premiership playoff final. So with 15 minutes and possible penalties to play, it is Ross County 3, Partick Thistle 1 on the night, and it is 3-3 on aggregate.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
One last break for the players before the end of the open play. A chance for aching limbs to be rubbed. Jack McMillan, what a power of work he's put in. Right the way through the playoffs, but certainly this afternoon, he's getting clearly, whether he's cramping up or seizing up, but he's getting some serious work done on the backs of his calves and his hamstrings there. One or two of the other players down in their haunches, plenty taking on fluid on what is a warm afternoon, certainly out on the pitch. A quick pointer that, well, clearly we should have been heading towards the conclusion of the programme. We haven't even concluded the game yet. We will be sticking with a match on all frequencies, so classics and now will follow. So apologies if you are waiting for that. It's going to be a slightly later start. It's going to be another, well, at least another 15 minutes, possibly a bit longer. So we'll stick with the football right the way through on all frequencies. Classics Live will, Classic Now will then follow on FM and BBC Sounds. And you're going to stay to the football to not only get the conclusion of the game, which we'll get, but then reaction thereafter. You have to make sure you join us on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, digital and online. So we'll get to that ultimately, but we have to conclude not just this afternoon, or this evening, but Scottish football season for this entire campaign. We've got 15 minutes and potentially penalties left. Partick Thistle making a change, certainly Danny Mullen getting ready to come on. Let's quickly get into Brian.
Yeah, Danny Mullen is ready to come on. The player he'll be replacing, number 11, Stevie Lawless. 15 minutes left of this season, Richard.
Absolutely. Right, Mullen on, Lawless off. Aching limbs aplenty. Liam's just about ready to expire, but he'll guide us through the final 15.
I'm going to try, and the sports scene guys are going to try and get the highlights on for you. They have to push the programme back by an hour or so, though. I think it's 8:30 by the looks of the schedule in front of me here, that they've managed to find a space. 8:20 I'm hearing. That means the schedule in front of me is inaccurate, but anyway, second period of extra time is underway. You're not going to want to miss the highlights of this unless you're a supporter of the team who does not come out of this tie successfully in the next 15 minutes. Could be penalties, and the way it's been going, it probably will be. Kevin Holt has a throw in for Thistle, who go right to left in the second period of extra time, shooting towards their fans in the academy end of Victoria Park. County in the navy blue with the red flashes, and Thistle in their red and yellow. And it's going to be Kevin Holt to bowl it back to Docherty. Big switch of play out to that right hand side for McMillan, with the socks rolled down his ankles. He turns it back the way to Brownlee, out to Holt. Holt goes long. Mullen up there with Graham now. Might break Danny Mullen's way. Gets the break of the ball. He's inside the area and he lashes it high over the bar. Chance for Danny Mullen, who's just on, and it stays 3-1 County on the night and 3-3 on aggregate.
Well, it was a real chance. Just bouncing and bobbling around. Mullen's the one that gets onto it first of all, reacts quickly, but as he's running onto the ball, his left foot not able to guide it on target. He gets under it, puts it well over the crossbar.
It's going to be a Ross County ball. So just a reminder then that sports scene highlights of this game now scheduled for 8:20 on the BBC Scotland channel. Stick with us here on Sports Sound though. The conclusion of extra time and penalties if necessary. Sims down the line for County. Murray gives chase, level with the 6-yard line. First time cross is good, but the goalkeeper holds on.
Takes it really well, considering, you know, there's been a few moments where he has not looked totally confident with that. He came and took that ball brilliant, and then not only that, he gets the distribution out really well and quick out to this left hand side over the halfway line, just with that. The volleyed pass, it was good play, really good play from David Mitchell.
It is Thistle in possession with Muirhead out to the right hand side. It goes McMillan with a low ball forward, cut out by Baldwin. Good challenge on Graham as County pick it up. It's a long ball forward there by Randall. I think he's pulled something there as he did so. Murray will keep it in play. It's actually a good ball by Randall, and he's won a throw in about level with the Partick Thistle 6-yard line on this near side.
Problem is, Ross County, if he has done something, they've got no other subs.
That's correct. It's a yellow card. I think Brian Graham's got it, and he's been involved in a couple of altercations throughout the match. We're 3 minutes into the second period of extra time, 3-3 in aggregate, 3-1 County on the day. And they've got a throw in, and they scored all 3 of their goals into this end that they're attacking, the jail end at Victoria Park. And Jack Baldwin, the ball off to our right down by the corner flag. Long throw here for the big centre-back. In it comes. Graham's missed his header, bounces off a Thistle defender. There's some appeals for a handball. And there's almost a stony silence inside the stadium as that's knocked out of play for a Thistle throw-in down below us.
Well, it's just a
3-1 County on the day and 3-3 in aggregate.
It's just a nervous moment when, you know, you're looking at the ball coming in, you're thinking that Brian Graham's going to easily clear it. He misses it, and then Ross County claiming it's bounced off somebody's arm. Again, I think there's nothing in that, but it's the nervousness of missing a ball that looked certain to be able to get cleared away without any problem from Brian Graham.
We are 11 minutes away from a penalty shootout to decide who the 12th team in the Premiership next season are going to be. The importance of these 11 minutes or so could not be higher for these two clubs. Thistle clear towards Graham, who controls that, then rifles it forward high to give Mullen something to chase on to. Baldwin's the covering player. Baldwin does well, he's done really well, but it's come off him and out for a Thistle throw-in. Level with the County penalty spot. On this near side, it's the Thistle fans' turn to sing, to try and rouse their team. And County supporters sit in their seats and hope Thistle don't profit here. Docherty finds Holt on the near side, up against Danda. He turns it back to Brownlee, rolls it into the centre circle here for Muirhead. Short ball to his right for Bannigan. Bannigan with the left foot out to McMillan on that far side touchline. If Thistle don't emerge victorious tonight, they will have so many regrets. That they have tossed away a 3-goal cushion in aggregate with 20 minutes to play of the 90. Bannigan forward, they can still make it right. Turner on the turn, right angle of the penalty area of County is the attack. Rolls it back to Docherty, who squares it to Holt. Holt looks for an option, gets one in Tiffany, wide in the left, taking on Sims. Dragging it back from Sims, rolls it back the way to Holt. It's a decent ball, he almost found Graham. Really good header away by Baldwin, and then Randall completes the clearance. And I'm thinking back to those Conor Randall blocks in the first leg right now as well, as Murray drives forward down the near side, up against Holt.
He's done brilliantly, Holt, to get back in and slow things down.
Murray back to Williamson. Back to Murray. Murray holding it up, it's a really poor pass. Looked like he was caught in two minds there, gives it straight back to Thistle with Holt. Then Docherty, and now it's with Turner. Turner and Docherty have been magnificent at the heart of this Partick Thistle side during this run. 6 minutes into the second period of extra time. 3-3 on aggregate it remains. A fitting end to the season here. But there's still a lot of elation, there's a lot of ecstasy and a lot of heartbreak and desolation to come. Here is Turner for Thistle, driving forward. Graham wants it, he couldn't get there because that man Conor Randall was there again. County emerge with their Premiership status intact. They've got a lot to thank Conor Randall for, I can tell you that. McMillan with the long ball, he's managed to get it out to Tiffany despite the best efforts of Sims. Tiffany now level with the 6-yard line, chops back onto the right, across it comes Graham, takes a touch, he's got his back to goal, and then it's left over the bar by Bannigan into the hordes of Thistle fans behind the goal, and it stays Ross County 3, Partick Thistle 1, and 3-3 on aggregate. But Stuart Bannigan, one of the biggest Partick Thistle legends of recent years, a modern day Partick Thistle legend, has just skied the chance that might well have taken them back to the big time.
What a chance. On his left foot as well. Just needs to step on it and pass it into the net. He tries to smash it and sticks it over the crossbar. And Chris Dillon, who's not one for showing much emotion on the sideline, he just looked up to the skies.
It's His old teammate's got to score, hasn't he? Ross Laidlaw with the long goal kick. White's underneath it. Danda giving chase. Murray's going to get there. Murray's at the right angle of the box. Lovely back heel. Tilson has it for County. Rolls it low into the right-hand side of the box. Danda's cross, headed clear. Important diving header away by Muirhead. The bouncing ball, Mullen can't control. 8 minutes of the second period of extra time have come and gone. 3-3 in aggregate. Jordan White does brilliantly. Rolls it to the overlapping Harmon, who crosses. Too deep for anyone in navy blue. Danda has it. Slips at the crucial moment. Docherty slips as well. Sims has it. Sims is level with the Thistle 6-yard line. Back to Danda. Tired looking cross is blocked by Tiffany as it's rolled back to Keith Watson. The county captain finds Baldwin. And share captaincy duties, of course,
Good
those two.
ball.
He's found Sims.
Great
Brilliant
ball.
touch by Sims. Tries to touch it back, but Bannigan blocks it. Do or die time here. A goal now might settle it. Penalties looming though. Graham can't keep it in play. County throw in. Do one of these teams have a winner in them before the spot kicks? And I suppose if you're a neutral, you're wanting penalties. You'll feel that this would be the best way for this tie to end. I feel it would be a fitting conclusion. Jack Baldwin is the throw-in right on the halfway line down below us. Less than 6 to play, plus anything that Nick Walsh wants to add on. Simon Murray taking it down on this near side, and it's come off him last and behind for the goal kick to the Jags. All the drama here on Sportsound, BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Ross County 3, Partick Thistle 1 on the night. 3-3 on aggregate for a place in the Premiership. Long ball from David Mitchell. Baldwin with a diving header. And these sets of players are given so much to it. Graham looking for Mullen, trying to get in behind. Brilliant challenge by Keith Watson. Because Danny Mullen's on goal if he doesn't make that challenge and doesn't win it. Huge defensive intervention by Watson. Here's Harmon. And if you support either of these clubs, I mean, it's compelling viewing for the neutral, but this must be utter torture. It's picked up here by Williamson for County.
Good ball.
Another really good cross-fielder out to Sims on this near side, up against Tiffany. Tiffany gets a vital touch onto it to prevent Sims from getting into a position where he could have crossed it into the mixer. Thistle pick it up in the midfield. One back though by Tilson. Danda loses out to Bannigan. And now it's Mullen stabbing it towards Graham. Sliding in is Randall again. It's now with George Harmon. We're in the final 5 minutes of extra time here. Simon Murray wide on the left for County of the Partick Thistle box. Onto the right foot, it's a delicate ball towards the back post. It breaks back towards Sims, but what a chance it was for Williamson. He doesn't make any contact with the header, and Thistle survive, and it stays 3-1 County on the night and 3-3 on aggregate.
Williamson was in there. You could just see as that ball was drifting towards the back post. Holt was getting caught under it. It's just incredible. It really is. I mean, so many last-ditch tackles and I mean, as Partick Thistle were up the other end, there was 2 or 3 tackles that were last-ditch from Ross County. Then it's straight up the other end, and Holt gets caught under it. Williamson with a header, the chance. He doesn't get contact on it. A lot of tired bodies here.
Ross County were 1-0 down at Firhill on Thursday when they were reduced to 10 men. Thistle were all over them, swarming all over them. They went 2-0 down before half-time. It looked like shooty in for the Glasgow team. County survived the second half in Glasgow. And look at them now. 3-3 in aggregate, 3 minutes away from a penalty shootout to decide Team 12 in the 23-24 Premiership. Comes off the head of White. Bannigan gets his head to it, and then there's a foul by Murray. Now he's already been booked here as he went in on Muirhead. Simon Murray, yellow carded earlier in extra time.
There's nothing in
it. There's no question that there's a yellow coming out, so...
No, it's good refereeing. There was nothing in that. You know, it's just 2 players going and challenging for the ball. And
that doesn't mean that...
No, you're right. I mean, yeah, you're right. But thankfully, The referee's got that one correct. Definitely a free kick. Aaron Muirhead gets there first. The free kick for Partick Thistle, but there was nothing else needed in that.
Long ball from the free kick by the Thistle goalkeeper Mitchell. Underneath it is Randall, heads it up towards halfway. Underneath it is Brownlee. He's found McMillan as well, who nods it forward down the right, looking for Graham. One back by Baldwin though. 2 minutes of the extra time left, plus anything Nick Walsh adds on. Here's Aaron Muirhead for Thistle. Long ball. Sims gets on to the edge of his own box and turns and clears with the left foot. It's now with Holt though. Holt out to this near side. Cross covering Sims again, and he puts it out for a Thistle throw-in. Thistle finish on the ascendancy here. And one of these teams win it, while it's still a football match and not a lottery. Throw-in's taken, Holt gets on to it, comes off Sims though. Nice little touch that one. Out to Danda on the near side by Williamson. It's now with Murray in the centre circle. Murray through it comes. Couldn't quite get it under control. Can Williamson and Thistle have it back? Here's Danny Mullen. Danny Mullen turns towards the box.
Good touch.
Yeah, another good intervention. Watson went out with Danda on the near side, trying to find White. Well read by Brownlee.
I'm not sure it's time for little smart flicks like that. It needs to just be calm, composed and clever football.
This is the last minute of extra time, at least of the allotted time. Here is Brian Graham. He's got his cross in. Really good header by Baldwin. So strong.
What a defensive header that is from Baldwin. He is touch tight. Is it Turner that got himself in there? And great. I mean, and not only does he get his head to Baldwin, but he clears the box with it.
I mean, they're like two heavyweight boxers who've done the 15 rounds. I mean, it's just one trying to attack with energy levels so low. Muirhead's long ball. Graham with the flick. Mullen slips, and it's cleared by Sims. With about 10 seconds left. In fact, Nick Walsh has sounded full time and extra time, and the final place in next season's Premiership will be decided by a penalty shootout, because it's finished here in Dingwall after extra time. Ross County 3, Partick Thistle 1, and 3-3 in aggregate.
Liam, thank you. We'll let Liam just gather his thoughts, get himself ready for the penalty shootout, which is going to draw an end to this incredible season of Scottish football. There will be a hero out there, there will be a fall guy. Who's it going to be? Well, we'll find out once this penalty shootout gets up and running. The managers have got decisions to make, the players have got decisions to make, and it is going to be absolutely heartbreaking for one of these teams to have gone all the way, as Liam was saying there, like two heavyweight boxers slugging it out. It's been an incredible afternoon into the evening. The highlights will be on Sports Scene. It's a delayed Sports Scene now, so that's at 8:20 on BBC Scotland. And of course, we will stick with the action here through until the conclusion of the games. If you are waiting for classics now, it's going to be, well, however long it takes to get this penalty shootout sorted out. It will follow beyond that on FM and BBC Sound, and we'll stay on with the football on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, so you get that in your digital, of course, if you want to join us there, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland 810 medium wave, or if you're using your smart speaker, BBC Radio Scotland Extra. So that will all unfold at the end of the penalty shootout. Let's go quickly. Barely been a chance to hear from him as this has all unfolded here in Dingwall. Simon Donnelly, it has just been the most remarkable conclusion, hasn't it?
Incredible, Richard. I think me and Tom need a lie down. I don't know about the players, but it's been drama. Incredible finish to the season. Partick looked as if they'd got that third goal and were home and hosed, but credit to Ross County, they've come back, caused real problems in that second half. And in the extra time, it was just toe to toe. You know, I think to Stuart Bannigan's chance here, what a great chance. It fell to him and he blazed it over the bar. I think Mullen had won just basically with his first touch, but that could have went either way, and now we finish it with penalties. Good luck to both teams.
And we just kind of knew that this season of all seasons, Tom, that VAR would have a bit part to play when it came to the conclusion of this.
Oh, listen, we've had absolutely everything. The team that couldn't stop scoring and hadn't conceded in 430 minutes concedes 3 goals in 20 minutes and gets taken to extra time and penalties. I mean, honestly, this season, bonkers to its last breath.
Malky Mackay's just been out on the pitch and he has been rousing the Ross County fans. They've been out-sung and out-shouted by the Partick Thistle fans for most of the afternoon. But Malky, not often you see that kind of demonstration from him, but he was very, very animated out there on the pitch. Brian, which end for the penalties?
Yeah, there's going to be, it's actually been recommended by the police that the penalty kicks will be taken at the right-hand side of the main stand, so where the Ross County fans are situated at the moment, and that is on the recommendation of the police have been told.
You do hear this from time to time. I've got no idea what the scenario is or why they decide that. I think Paul McDonald, the assistant manager, was just having a word with the referee, Nick Walsh, and looks very, very unhappy, and Nick Walsh is kind of almost giving it, it's out of my hands.
Well, it shouldn't. I mean, for me, that shouldn't be out the referee. I mean, but we're up in Dingwall, you know. We've got less than 8,000, you know, fans in here. The police shouldn't be getting involved in that. That should be a toss of the coin to decide what end of the stadium is being played for.
4,500 fans.
Well, there you go. The police should not be getting involved in that.
Right, well, they have done, apparently, or at least that's what Brian's telling us there. Penalty shootout will begin. It looks like it will be Partick Thistle who will be first up. So, settle back. Try to keep your nerves in check. Penalty shootout to decide which team is in the Premiership next season. Michael Stewart and Liam McLeod.
Aaron Muirhead's going to take first for Partick Thistle. He's already missed a penalty this season. Thistle's penalty shootout record overall, they played 17, won 7, lost 10, discounting League Cup bonus point shootouts. And Aaron Muirhead is going to take the first one. Let's see if your nerves can stand it for a place in next season's Premiership. The Thistle coaches, substitutes, arm in arm down below us. Ross Laidlaw getting himself organised. The penalties, as the guys were saying, been taken at the jail end where the county supporters are behind. The Thistle fans up the other end. Aaron Muirhead stands inside the D, outside the box. Ross Laidlaw right in the middle of his goal. It's Muirhead, it's in! Sends Laidlaw the wrong way. Shushes the county fans, finger to lips, and Partick Thistle lead 1-0 in the shootout.
Very, very good penalty kick there from Muirhead. Up high to the opposite side from where Laidlaw was diving. Just wondered when Laidlaw was laying out his towel behind the goal, because I think he was looking at a potential list of what the Partick Thistle players are going to do from the penalty kick.
Yeah. Jan Dand up first for County. Mikey, County have played 10 penalty shootouts. They've won 4 and lost 6. Includes a couple of wins over Thistle in the past in cup competition. Jan Danda then right-footed, and he scores! Bottom right corner! He too sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's 1-1 in the shootout.
That was a very composed finish there from Danda. Just nonchalantly passes it into the corner as Mitchell dives the other way. Down low and left to the keeper as he dives away to his right.
Here's Kevin Holt, who famously has scored the only penalty Rangers have conceded domestically this season. He smashed home in the Scottish Cup at Ibrox, and he's over this one. The Thistle number 4, left-footed, here he goes! Saved! Ross Laidlaw saves! He punches fresh air in celebration, and it is advantage Ross County, incredibly, in this Premiership playoff shootout.
Well, Holt's distraught, devastated, and understandably so. His captain Docherty goes down to get him back up and bring him into the team. It wasn't a great penalty. There was lots of power in it. He's tried to perhaps, I think, play it right down the middle, but as he's caught it, he's pushed it to the side, and it's easy height, good height for the goalkeeper, Laidlaw. If he guessed the right way, he was going to save it, and that's exactly what he did.
Simon Murray, who scored their second, takes this penalty right-footed, and he finds the net. Keeper guesses right, but Murray sends it into the left corner of the net to give Ross County a 2-1 lead in the shootout.
Well, it's a good finish. He got the pace and the bend on it to get away from Mitchell. He guessed the right way, but it's too much power and accuracy from Simon Murray.
Kyle Turner up next for Thistle. He's under some amount of pressure now, is he not? Ross Laidlaw, that giant 6'4" frame touching the bar. Now he's moving around. Turner, right-footed, scores into the right corner. He needed to score that one, and he does. It's 2-2 in the shootout, but County have taken one fewer.
Yeah, good penalty. You know, those 2 penalties that they've scored, Partick Thistle sending the goalkeeper the wrong way, and even if they had gone the right way, they would have been more difficult to get to, whereas Hope's one that's been saved, it just was too close to the middle of the goal and at a height where the goalkeeper was going to save it.
Jordan White's up next for Ross County. Right-footed penalty again, here he goes, and he scores 2. Ross County have been picture perfect from the spot here. Jordan White sends Mitchell the wrong way, bottom left corner. 3-2 County in the shootout. They've both taken 3 apiece.
Well, that was really good. He just whips his foot round it and sticks it to the keeper's right as Mitchell's diving the opposite way. Didn't matter even if Mitchell was going the right way. That was right into the bottom corner. I wouldn't have seen the goalkeeper getting his hands to that one.
Brian Graham, your top scorer, 21 goals this season. Partick Thistle, their number 9, stands in the 18-yard line up against Ross Laidlaw. It is Graham, right-footed. He scores. Really good penalty from the former County striker. He finds the net and makes it 3-3 in the shootout, but County have taken one fewer.
A wee bit of mind games going on there. Ross Laidlaw was pointing that way. He said, you know, as if he knew he was going to put it in the corner, but Brian Graham whipped it in, got a bit of height on it as well. Laidlaw couldn't get anywhere near it. Very, very good penalty from Brian Graham there.
Jack Baldwin will be up next for Ross County. He spots the ball up. Nick Walsh, the referee, beside him. All this drama coming here almost 3 hours after this game kicked off. Penalty shootout, and Jack Baldwin can move County a step closer to retaining their top flight status. Here he goes, right-footed penalty as well. It's saved! David Mitchell saves, and Partick Thistle are right back in this equation, and this tide's right back in the melting pot all of a sudden.
Absolutely. There was just a lingering moment there with Baldwin and the referee looking over the ball. He wasn't happy on the spot, taking too long. And just leaves you with the thought of, is it going to be one of those ones? And it was. Mitchell gets across and saves it.
And now we're effectively in sudden death. Jack McMillan next for Partick Thistle. Here he goes, right-footed from McMillan. Oh, brilliant penalty! Oh. Top left corner. One of the best penalties you'll see as he puts it away from the grasp of the towering Laidlaw. And Partick Thistle lead 4-3 in the shootout. And George Harmon must score or County are down and Thistle are up.
What a penalty that is from McMillan. It's that good on the back of the miss that it just shifts everything in Thistle's favour. Huge pressure now on Harmon.
And you could slice the tension. Here is George Harmon. It's going to be a left-footed penalty. Left-footed. Here he goes. Oh, a brilliant spot kick. Sends the keeper the wrong way into the left corner. And it is 4-4 in this nerve shredder in Dingwall.
I mean, as good as McMillan's finish was, and it was really good, Harmon steps up under huge pressure, knowing that if he misses, it's a good night. And he sticks it away with aplomb.
I mean, I'm a neutral observer, but my stomach's going, heart's pounding. Stuart Bannigan. Here he goes, left-footed. One of the Thistle boys. Here he goes. Oh, it's off the post. It's advantage County again. It bounces off the right-hand post of the goal frame. And Stuart Bannigan troops away in desolation. It's 4-4, but County are going to have the chance to win it here.
You feel terrible for Bannigan. You know, he misses that sitter and open play, and now that penalty, and you're talking millimetres away from being a brilliant penalty kick, whipped into the corner, hits the inside of the post and goes away, and Keith Watson has the chance here, the captain, to seal it.
Watson waits on the 18-yard line to retain their Premiership status. Oh, he skies it! He's put it over the bar! And the Partick Thistle coaching staff and players celebrate, because that right there was Keith Watson's chance to keep County in the top flight. Somehow you knew the drama wasn't quite finished there.
Wow, I mean, just when you think you've seen it all, and you think the game is going to come to an end, this game just keeps producing moments that you just were not expecting. I thought Watson was going to step up and put it in the back of the net.
Chance then for Thistle. Ross Docherty, the skipper. Right-footed, sudden death here in the Highlands. Oh, Laidlaw saves! Poor penalty! He's passed it towards the bottom left, and Laidlaw turns it past the post. And County will have another chance to win this playoff final through Josh Sims. It stays 4-4.
This is the nerves kicking in. That is what, you know, hitting a ball from 12 yards shouldn't be that difficult, but when you add the nerves, that's the reason you're seeing players now missing. Ross Docherty's a good, composed player as well. I was expecting him to find the back of the net.
Josh Sims
nerve jangling.
Yeah, it sure is. Josh Sims to win the playoff final for County and keep them in the top flight. Right-footed, and he's done it! He's done it! Josh Sims is the hero for Ross County, who somehow, from somewhere, have stayed in the Premiership and have denied Partick Thistle in the penalty shootout. One of the greatest comebacks in Scottish football history, you would have to say. Complete and utter pickpocketry from the Staggies. 3-0 down an aggregate with 20 minutes of this football match to play. It is they who celebrate. It's the fans who come onto the pitch to celebrate as well. Somehow, Partick Thistle have thrown it all away. 2-0 up from the first leg in Glasgow. 3-0 up at half-time in the second leg. 3-0 up with 20 left. After Aidan Fitzpatrick gave them the lead. Ross County hit back, a Danda penalty, Murray from close range, and George Harmon who forced extra time. That was miraculous enough, but the Lazarus-like recovery was complete after a goalless extra time. It's Josh Sims who dispatches the winning penalty. After Bannigan, Docherty and Holt missed for Thistle, Baldwin and Watson missed for County. And it is Ross County who retain their place at the top table. And Partick Thistle are consigned, despite an incredible playoff journey, to another season in the Championship. Quite unbelievable. And you do not use that term lightly when it comes to football matches. But what we've seen today is one of the greatest comebacks I think there's ever been, as the County supporters celebrate. It finishes here after a penalty shootout. Ross County 3, Partick Thistle 1. 3-3 on aggregate and 5-4 to County on the penalty shootout. Let's hear from the Staggies hero, Josh Sims.